KPNW.org. A public service announcement brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. U.S. stock index futures are rising, signaling equities will rebound from Friday's drop. This is coming amid gains in crude prices and speculation that mixed economic data will prompt the U.S. Federal Reserve to hold interest rates steady this week. S&P futures are up 10 points, NASDAQ futures up 15, Dow futures are up 79. NYMEX crude oil is higher by about 1.5% at $43.66 a barrel. The U.S. Federal Reserve begins a two-day policy meeting tomorrow, wrapping up on Wednesday. Economists surveyed by Bloomberg are not expecting an interest rate increase this time around. Following last week's economic releases, the odds for a September rate increase have fallen to 20% from 30% less than 2 weeks ago, with December the first month with more than even odds of an interest rate hike by the Fed. Once again, S&P futures up 10 points. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. Every day I wake up at 5 to give Dad his medicine. At 6 I make his breakfast. At 7 I shower. Every day I wake up
For those caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
The not-so-heroic Holloway in London on the legendary News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
Watch out for fog out there this morning. Definitely a problem in some areas. Well, last week, if you were listening to the show, we talked a little bit about this new study that actually was more investigative journalism that was published in the JAMA Internal Medicine magazine, the Journal of the American Medical Association, and it showed how for years sugar industry paid scientists to play down the link between sugar and heart disease and promote that fat was the culprit instead, according to new documents. But it goes beyond that. The New York Times revealed that Coca-Cola, the world's largest producer of sugary beverages, had provided millions of dollars in funding to researchers who sought to play down the link between sugary drinks and obesity. To talk about it this morning, medical specialist Dr. John Michaels joining us on the Wake Up Call. Dr. Michaels, thanks for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having me on this morning.
Absolutely. First off, what was released, does this surprise you at all?
It doesn't. We've seen over the last decades obesity and heart disease and diabetes run rampant in this country, and it's all been based on this foundation that we should have a high-carbohydrate, low-fat diet.
All right, you said it doesn't surprise you, but does it surprise you that there were moneyed interests that were essentially trying to jigger research to shift the blame to something else rather than them?
This is big business at its best. Anytime they can downplay their role, we've seen it with the tobacco industry, now with the sugar industry, like you mentioned, Coca-Cola, and we've seen it in the banking industry, the mortgage crisis that we went through back in 2008. Big business has a way of funding things to slant in their favor in order to downplay their role in adverse effects for the American people.
All right, then that leads to the next question. Why or how should people believe when scientists come forward and say, oh, we have a new study and it shows that, X causes cancer or X causes heart disease or X causes, when it seems that science is willing to sell itself out to the highest bidder?
Well, back in the 80s, we got wise to this. And so now any of these studies that come out in these major journals are funded by public sources, not by private industry. That minimizes the amount of corruption that can take place. So we can trust the data that comes out a little bit more.
Okay, but I'll give you a local example, and it's kind of a disparate from the conversation. But a couple of years ago, the cattle industry here in Oregon funded a study done through Oregon State University dealing with the effects of wolves and livestock. Now, should people, for instance, then accept research done by a public university, even though on the backside of it, it's been funded by someone who has a dog in the fight?
I think you're always going to have to take that information with a grain of salt. Because like you said, someone has a dog in the fight. They've got something to gain from the research that comes out through those studies. What we want is truly objective findings based on hard fact evidence, not on someone's agenda.
All right, but you said, these public groups that fund the research, when the public groups are funded by somebody else, then it calls all of that research into question, it seems like.
It absolutely does. And so we do need to know who's behind these studies and what do they have to gain by putting out this data.
Talk a little bit, if you would, about fat in general. Are saturated fats then as bad as we've been led to believe based on a lot of this research, or are they not?
I think they're not as bad as we were led to believe if we maintain a diet with moderation for our saturated fats. We can find better health benefits. And even fats that are found in things like eggs and olive oil and almonds and different variations of nuts, those were even demonized. And what we found is that those are actually essential to a healthy diet. And so changing our thought processes about fats and really wanting to minimize sugar and adding more healthy fats to our diet is going to be to our overall health benefit.
Doctor, talk about, if you would, the last several decades we've kind of gone down this certain path. Kind of paint the picture of what you would picture or what you would see had this research not come out.
Had this research not come out, I think we would have minimized how much of the grains and sugars that we were consuming in our diets, how much of the processed foods we were consuming, and gone along with what we intuitively know, that if we're eating good, whole, healthy foods like organic vegetables, lean meats like fish, free-range chicken, that our health would have taken a much different trend over the last 5 decades than it has based on this diet full of carbohydrates, processed foods, and sugars.
All right. Doctor, we appreciate you joining us on the Wake Up Call this morning. Take care. Dr. John Michaels, medical specialist on the Wake Up Call. It is 6:34, News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
Ramjack has your foundation solution. Ramjack can fix that. CCB 146906.
Every election year, you hear lots of promises and few guarantees. Lars Larson here to tell you about one guarantee you have right here in Eugene and Lane County. Jeremy Parmenter will sell your home. That's right. Jeremy guarantees to sell your home at a price and a deadline you agree to, or he'll buy it. And Jeremy will sell your home fast. Darbin and Ruby wanted to sell their home and move out of the country. They didn't need the extra stress that comes with selling their home, so they called Jeremy Parmenter. He sold their home in less than 30 days, right on schedule, and got them $10,000 more than any house in that neighborhood. Why would you think of working with any other agent in Eugene or Lane County? And there's no risk. If you want out of the contract, you're out. Call the only agent I recommend in Eugene. Call Jeremy Parmenter at 541-255-5685. That's 541-255-5685. Online, OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com. That's OregonRealEstateAdvisors.com.
It's fall. That can mean football weather or a blazing heat wave, depending on what Mother Nature has in mind. Don't sweat Mother Nature's moodiness. Talk to the home comfort specialists at Beamer Heating and Sheet Metal for help. They have advanced heating and cooling systems from Lennox that can keep your home perfectly comfortable, no matter what's going on outside. And right now, Beamer Heating and Sheet Metal is offering up to a $1,600 rebate and 9.99% financing on a qualifying new Lennox system. That's up to a $1,600 rebate on an innovative, highly efficient heating and cooling system that can put you in control of your home comfort and your monthly utility bills. So seize the day. Call the experts at Beamer Heating and Sheet Metal right now at 541-688-5004. That's 541-688-5004. Or visit them online at beamerheating.com. License number 4483.
Get stoked on your next stove or fireplace insert at Midgley's. Get zero interest financing on Yodel, Valor, and Blaze King on approved credit. When Midgley's installs your wood or pellet stove, they'll throw in an accessory bag in your first chimney cleaning for free. That's over $250 in savings. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Our customer-friendly parking lot is located behind our store. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
See store for posted details.
At batteriesplus.com, you can order light bulbs and batteries for pretty much anything and pick them up in store. Visit them in Eugene and now open in Corvallis on 9th Street next to the grocery outlet. Batteries Plus Bulbs. Trust the plus.
You're unique, so why is your mattress one size fits all? Because a custom mattress costs thousands, until now. Hi, I'm Christian von Rickenbach, founder of HelixSleep.com, where you can buy a mattress online, customized for you, for hundreds of dollars instead of thousands. Go to HelixSleep.com, answer a few simple questions, and we build you the most comfortable mattress you'll ever sleep on. Shipping is free, and you have 100 nights to try it out. Go to HelixSleep.com/go and get $50 off your order. HelixSleep.com/go.
I've been teaching organic chemistry for the last 17 years, so I'm pretty good with complex calculations. But when I started thinking about my retirement, I was pretty stumped. Luckily, I have TIAA as my financial partner. Together, we retrosynthetically analyzed my financial future, which is organic chem speak for we figured it out.
Your personal success takes a financial partner who values it as much as you do. Learn more at TIAA.org.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, or you're already out and about, we do have partly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s with winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. I expect the fog to burn off by about 10 a.m. Now, the storm system from the weekend has begun to pull away, but we're still seeing low pressure over the Pacific Northwest, as well as an unstable environment. That means partly cloudy skies will continue into the afternoon with highs only in the upper 60s to low 70s, 72 here in town. The winds will stay northwest at 5 to 10. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
When you are a man,
entertain your brain.
Sometimes you wear stretchy pants in your room.
With a wake-up call.
It's for fun.
On News Radio 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Well, if you're watching on the stream this morning, you'll notice behind us, of course, we have the Widmer Brothers cooler full of craft beer. And craft beers have really changed the business model when it comes to brewing. To talk and, the economics of brewing in this country. To talk a little bit about it this morning, it is Adam Millsap. He's a research fellow for state and local policy at the Mercatus Center at George Mason University. And he joins us this morning as we get out of an Oktoberfest weekend. Adam, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me.
Okay, so Oktoberfest kicked off last week. In Oregon, we had our huge Oktoberfest that takes place every year in Mount Angel. And, craft beers and the like, a big thing here in the Eugene area with a number of breweries, Ninkasi, Oakshire, Hop Valley. I mean, I could go down the list. How much is it really changing the economy of brewing here in the United States to have all of these microbrews, all of these brew pubs taking on, the big guys at Anheuser-Busch, Miller, Coors, etc.?
Well, first, it's great for consumers, obviously. So, there's a lot of different choices out there that weren't available 30, 35 years ago. So between, IPAs and stouts and everything else. So consumers have a lot more choices than just a traditional American lager that was produced by the bigger companies. And it keeps those bigger companies on their toes as well, so they have to adapt and create products that consumers want, because if they don't, then, with all these different choices, consumers can just go to these craft brewers that are popping up all over the place, and that hurts the bigger beer producers' profit margin. So it creates incentives to innovate and create new products and give us more variety.
Okay, that said, though, it causes the big brewers to innovate. One of the things about folks that enjoy craft brews, and I hold my hand up as being one of those, is the fact that there are so many different types. Is it really cost effective when you look at somebody like Anheuser-Busch to do on a scale to be able to compete with, a brewer that may have a pumpkin ale, a Kent ale, a British ale, a pale ale, an IPA? I mean, go down the list. Can they really do it at the scale where they can remain profitable?
Well, it's not clear how big the scale needs to be. So craft beer right now is only about 10% of the market. And I've foresee that that'll probably grow a little bit more, and we'll see how people's tastes develop and if more people start getting onto craft beer. But traditional big macro breweries still have a lot of the market, and there's a lot of Bud Light being sold. Go to any college campus, and you'll see plenty of Bud Light and Miller Lite and everything else. So I think there's definitely room for both, and I don't think that the big brewers have to necessarily create their own craft beer. What you're seeing, in fact, is that a lot of these bigger breweries are buying up some of the smaller craft brewers and just adding them to their portfolio and getting into the craft market that way.
How does that typically work? I mean, is it more of a distribution agreement, or are they actually purchasing the craft brewers, but still allowing them to do what the craft brewers do best, which is innovate?
I think there's a mix of both. I know they have actually purchased some. Goose Island, I know, was bought based out of Chicago, was bought by InBev, and then another one, Devil's Backbone, is one that I heard of recently that was here in Virginia, that was purchased by InBev again. So I think there's a mixture of both, and I don't think it's anything to be worried about. I think a lot of times it's good for the craft brewer because they run into financial constraints. So, they need to raise capital, need to raise money in order to expand, and they have a couple different options. They can go to a bank, get a loan, they can bring on an investor, a venture capitalist or something like that, or they can have a strategic partner and go into a deal with a bigger brewery who might be able to add not only some capital that they need to expand, but also some expertise, some help with advertising, things like that. So I think it's a good deal. A lot of times it's a good deal for both the craft brewer and for the larger company like Budweiser or Anheuser-Busch who can get involved with the craft beer market.
Do you think that regulations on a state-by-state basis have helped or hindered craft brewers?
So the regulations themselves have hindered, and luckily we're seeing less regulation and a rolling back of regulation that has really helped. So prior to the 1980s, brew pubs were illegal in all 50 states. The first one to pass it was actually Washington, and then Oregon was shortly after that in 1983, allowed brew pubs to exist. And so that really helped the local craft beer people. They can now brew their beer and then sell it right to the consumer through these brew pubs, and allow them to get their product out there in order to compete with the larger breweries who had all the distribution and things like that. So this rolling back of regulation has really helped, but there's definitely more to do. 14 states still don't allow self-distribution, so don't allow craft beer breweries to distribute their own beer, sell it directly to wholesalers and retailers. You have to go through a wholesaler in order to get it on the shelves. So hopefully those other 14 states will join the other 36, and we'll see even more craft beer.
I'm just curious, your favorite craft beer?
I like a lot of IPAs, so I like Sierra Nevada stuff. Oscar Blues, Dale's Pale Ale is a good one. So I'm a big IPA guy.
All right. I'm kind of curious, what, besides the distribution laws, what are other things that states could be doing without pumping a bunch of money into it or anything like that, to really foster the growth of these craft brewers in their respective states?
So in addition to the self-distribution, which I think is a big one, there's also the franchise distribution laws that a lot of states still use. So the three-tier system where the has to go from the brewery to the wholesaler to the retailer, and the relationship between the brewer and the wholesaler is regulated at the state level. So a lot of times these breweries enter into these agreements with wholesalers, and the only way to get out of it is to show cause, which can sometimes be very difficult. So it kind of gives the wholesaler the upper hand in the relationship. So reforming some of that, making it a little easier for craft brewers to break off those relationships with wholesalers and negotiate better deals could also help them spread their product and get it onto more shelves. Those laws what's interesting is those laws were initially started in the 50s and 60s when the brewers were huge because you had Budweiser and Miller and Coors, and the wholesalers were small. And so the reason they did that is to make it so that the brewers didn't run the relationship with the wholesalers unfairly. But now, with all of these craft brewers that are relatively small, the relationship's flipped, but the laws haven't caught up. And so now a lot of the wholesalers have the advantage over the craft breweries because of these restrictions on that relationship. So loosening that up would help a lot as well.
Talking to Adam Millsap with Mercatus, who, by the way, has an article in Forbes about these small companies competing with the big boys. I'm curious, from your research and from the article that's just coming out today, is there a story of one of these underdog breweries? I mean, some of these stories are amazing, how they kind of came to be. Is there one that stands out from the article?
I'm sorry, repeat that? I broke up there for a minute.
Is there a story of one of these small breweries that you did, that you put in your article? Is there one that stands out as far as the story behind the company?
Oh, I didn't do any necessarily aggressive research on the stories behind the company. I mean, I think all the stories are interesting. The ones I did do from previously, I think, hearing about Sierra Nevada's story, how they were able to grow that brewery up from when it first started there in the early 80s to now my understanding is the owner is a billionaire. So that in itself is just pretty incredible that someone could take a small beer company like Sierra Nevada and over a course of 35 years turn it into this billion-dollar company. So, yeah, it's just really interesting to see these entrepreneurs and these guys who come out there and put all this sweat equity into this business and then grow it into something so large. And hopefully we see a lot more of that.
Amen to that. 15, 20 years from now, how do you see the craft brew market? You said that you expected it to grow a little bit. It currently has about 10% of the market. Go ahead.
I think it'll be. I don't know how exactly how it's going to grow. I think people's tastes are still going to develop. I think there's a lot of people out there who don't like craft beer who I think will come around eventually. It's kind of a new product, and most people aren't. And so there's still a lot of people who aren't used to it. Especially if you don't live in one of the big hubs, like say in Asheville, North Carolina, or a Portland, Oregon, or a Fort Collins, Colorado, where there's so many different varieties. If you live in some of these other states, I don't know that it's really spread as much. So I definitely think there's still some untapped consumers out there who haven't really been introduced to craft beer. So I think there's definitely going to be some growth. We'll see how many more brewers can come online. A lot of people are afraid that the market's kind of saturated with how many brewers we have. I don't share that fear. Like I said, I think there's a lot of still untapped potential and a lot of places where you don't see any brewers or haven't really gotten into the market. So I definitely think there's room to expand. And also overseas, too. I know one of the things that a lot of the beer makers are looking to do, and especially some of the bigger ones, is spread this market overseas. So a lot of other countries, other than Europe, but a lot of other continents other than Europe, don't really drink beer the same way that Western Europeans and Americans and stuff do. So there's still some untapped potential in some other locations as well, China, Asia, Africa, things like that. So it'll be interesting to see if there's more craft beer, not only in the U.S., but around the world.
You ever think that we're going to see one of these larger microbrewers become a macro brewer? And I'm thinking like a Sam Adams, Widmer, you mentioned Anchor. Do you ever think that they're going to be at a point where they're at least close to being on a par with, your Anheuser-Busch's, your Coors, et cetera?
I personally don't think so. Only because I don't think they sell the products that allow you to get to that level. Maybe if beer drastically changed, I think then maybe they could hit that. But the light beer is still such a huge part of American culture. Whether it's sitting down at football games or, like I said, college campuses who drink a lot of light beer. I think unless you're selling a beer like a Bud Light or a Miller Lite, I don't know that you're ever going to be able to quite hit that scale that InBev and Miller Coors and stuff have hit, which is fine. I don't think everyone needs to sell that. There's plenty of light beer out there. I don't know that everybody needs to be a part of that market anyway. So, but I think it'll be hard to just be selling things like IPAs and Oktoberfest beers and pumpkin ales and things like that and get to that level.
Yeah, no kidding. Hey, Adam, it was a pleasure talking to you this morning. I appreciate you being with us.
Hey, thanks a lot for having me. I enjoyed it.
All right, you take care. He's got an article in Forbes that's coming out today. He's with the Mercatus Center and does a lot with not only brewing but also state and local regulations dealing with businesses in the way that they help and hinder. It is 6:51 News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
I'm Jeremy.
And I'm Chris with Home Comfort. When we say the one to call,
the one means no matter what the problem.
From security lighting, generator systems, panel changeouts, service upgrades, with technicians available 24/7.
Or HVAC, from routine cleanings to breakdowns. Home Comfort's locally supported by Mitsubishi Electric. So their Mitsubishi Electric factory-trained technicians will ready your house for any season.
Make one call to 541-345-2838.
Home Comfort, the one to call.
Shift into savings at your local Kubota dealer. Right now, you can get the Subcompact BX and the Compact B or L Series or the bigger MX Special Utility Tractor with a low down payment, 0% APR for 84 months, and a full 6-year limited powertrain warranty. See your participating Kubota dealer by December 31st. Now through December 31st, 2016. Call toll-free 1-800-794-4992 for details about costs and terms. See Mid-Valley Tractor, locally owned for 30 years, just a mile and a half past the Beltline on Highway 99.
The best window sale in Oregon just keeps getting better.
Discount Windows Final 99 sale.
Thousands of overstock windows on site, including Ply Gem windows.
Factory first overstock windows, just $99 each.
Or less.
Why less, Vic? $99 is an amazing deal.
Lee, the lowest prices on overstock is one reason we're Discount Windows.
You're good, and so is this sale.
Discount Windows, Highway 99, Junction City, open 7 days a week.
Bill and Tim's is barbecue and a whole lot more.
Bill, barbecue is the very air we breathe.
I know, Tim, but it isn't for everyone all the time. That's why Bill and Tim's expanded menu is a big hit.
True, we don't look like a men's club in here anymore.
Golden mac and cheese balls, Mexican specialty dishes, gourmet salads. What new dish will you be trying today, Tim?
I'm ready to branch out.
Great.
Give me the barbecue bacon cheeseburger.
Tim. Bill and Tim's Barbecue.
Open at 11 daily.
13th and Pearl in Eugene.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Recently, I suggested that the Madison Avenue version of retirement with golf, travel, and other resort amenities was just a passing phase, and that for most people today, a relatively short retirement like the one that existed 60 or 70 years ago will again become the norm. That means you'll need to work longer and save more to fund a retirement that might last 5 or 10 years instead of 25 or 30. So if you look carefully at your own situation, including your savings and what it costs to live, where are you really? Many of you have a 401k to fund your retirement, and even those with pension plans like government employees and teachers ought to give some thought to what will happen if those benefits are cut or eliminated, because the taxpayers simply can't pay for them. For most, the harsh but obvious answer is that you'll need to work longer or fall into poverty. Here's the nugget. This means keeping up your skills and, if possible, working your way into a job that, even if you don't actually love it, is at least one you don't hate. Another thing is protecting your health, because being unhealthy is a drain on both your finances and your ability to work. We're talking hard stuff here, like saving, exercising, losing weight, and not smoking. But you know the drill. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
KPNW weather, brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now are coming into the upper 40s to low 50s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. Now, this fog will be gone by about 9 or 10 in the morning. But we're not seeing any high pressure moving in behind the storm system from the weekend. That means an unstable environment. Partly cloudy skies will continue this afternoon. Highs only climbing to the upper 60s to low 70s as winds will stay out of the northwest at 5 to 10, bringing in cooler air. We're already tracking another storm system for next weekend, as well as a small chance at rain each and every day this week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
News Radio 1120 KPNW with a special message for our listeners, asking for absolutely nothing. Instead, we want to extend our heartfelt thanks to you. Whether it's Radiothon for CMN or the Signature Chef's Auction Night for March of Dimes, or one of the many times you've shown your brilliant generosity, you continuously leave us awestruck. We don't take that for granted. So from all of us here at 1120 KPNW, thank you.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are rising in early trading amid gains in commodity prices and speculation that mixed economic data will prompt the Fed to hold interest rates steady this week. Right now, the Dow is up 89 points, or almost 0.5% at 18,212. The S&P 500 is ahead 9 points, or 0.4% at 2148. And the Nasdaq is up 22 points, or 0.4% at 5266. Right now, NYMEX crude oil is up just over 1% at $43.50 a barrel. The U.S. Federal Reserve starts a two-day policy meeting tomorrow. Investors and economists are speculating that we won't see an interest rate increase this time around. Meanwhile, a report on August housing starts tomorrow is the final bit of significant data to offer an indication on the strength of the economy before the Fed announces its rate decision on Wednesday. Reports last week offered contrasting evidence of the state of the economy. Gina Cervetti, Bloomberg Radio.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Brianna Evans is a 12-year-old student at an Orlando, Florida area school, and she's a jailbird. Her crime? She pinched a schoolmate's butt. And for that offense, young Miss Evans was read her Miranda rights. She was put in the back of a police car, taken by the deputies to a juvenile detention center, and booked on a charge of battery. Brianna, apparently still somewhat unrepentant, says that she feels it's just stupid. It's just a stupid charge that shouldn't have to happen. Pinching that young boy's butt was part of a game students at the school play. Now, the authorities say the offense happened in early March. At first, the girl was given suspension. The boy involved initially told school resource deputies that he wasn't interested in pressing charges. But his mother had different ideas. She demanded the 12-year-old girl face prosecution for pinching her son's butt. Brianna's father is flummoxed. He believes the misdemeanor battery charge is over the top. It's an overreaction. He said, "Lord, what's this world come to? Kids can't even be kid," he said. Mr. Evans, it's all part of the politically correct takeover of schools by out-of-control liberals. Kids are taught to fear microaggressions around every corner and taught to demand safe spaces. That's where common sense is expelled. Now, be thankful your daughter didn't try to kiss the boy. She probably would have been made to register as a sex offender at age 12. Don't doubt me. Hey folks, a quick little pop quiz. True or false? Identity theft happens only when thieves use your credit card. That's false. This crime happens anytime somebody pretends to be you for their gain. True or false? You can't really do much to help protect yourself from identity theft. Well, that's false too. Simply join LifeLock. Their proprietary technology will help detect and alert you to a huge range of identity threats. And if you have a problem, they have a U.S.-based team of specialists who will work to fix it. Now, no one can prevent all identity theft or monitor all transactions at all businesses, but unlike credit monitoring, free credit monitoring, which only detects changes in credit, LifeLock helps detect and resolve identity theft problems. Membership starts $9.99 a month plus applicable taxes. Call 800-440-4833 or visit lifelock.com now.
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW Eugene Springfield.
This is a Fox News alert. I'm Dave Anthony. They're linking this bomb in Elizabeth, New Jersey last night to the one that injured 29 people in New York City Saturday and the device that exploded in Seaside Park, New Jersey.
There is an individual, a person of interest, who is being targeted.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo, that suspect is named Ahmed Khan Rahami, a naturalized American citizen born in Afghanistan. The FBI has put out his picture, believing he's armed and dangerous. There are several reports 5 people detained in a car last night were Rahami's relatives.
The devices in Seaside, New Jersey, and then the device there in Chelsea, and then the unexploded device in Manhattan as well, all had cell phones attached to them. So electronics that were going to trigger or detonate the explosives. The 5 pipe bombs, one that exploded, 4 that did not, in Elizabeth that were found in a backpack near the train station did not.
Fox's Leland Vittert in Elizabeth, near where the FBI raided Rahami's family's apartment this morning. We're waiting a reaction to the latest on the bombings from Hillary Clinton, expected to talk to the media shortly.
Trump told Fox and Friends the U.S. needs to get tougher on ISIS and knock the hell out of them.
We're trying to be so politically correct in our country And this is only going to get worse.
Clinton released a statement saying she strongly condemns the apparent terrorist attacks in Minnesota, New Jersey, and New York. Meanwhile, dozens of former high-ranking national security officials, including numerous Clinton supporters, are calling on Trump to pledge he will divest himself of his overseas business interests should he win the White House. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
2 young girls have been shot dead in Florida. The victim in Riviera Beach yesterday was 4 years old, and police say she shot herself playing with a gun she found under a bed in her home. Her uncle's been arrested. No arrests yet in the shooting in Tampa yesterday that killed a 17-month-old girl. Fox News Radio, fair and balanced.
Hiring people is probably the worst part of my job. It's such a hassle, the searching, the sorting through resumes. Most people don't have the right experience.
We started using ZipRecruiter about 3 months ago. Right from the start, you could tell it was going to make hiring a lot easier. One click and my job was posted to 100+ job boards, all the top sites.
All of the candidates came to my dashboard, and it's easy to compare them. Thumbs up if I liked them, thumbs down if I didn't. No emails and attachments, printing up docs, phone calls, none of that.
And I couldn't believe the number of great applicants we got. I had the person we needed within 1 week. I don't know how we hired before ZipRecruiter.
Whether you're looking to fill one position or 20, find the best candidates with ZipRecruiter, where your job is just one click away from 100+ job sites. ZipRecruiter, the fastest way to hire. And right now you can try ZipRecruiter free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/quick. That's ZipRecruiter.com/quick. ZipRecruiter.com/quick.
Stocks are pretty big to start the week. Fox Business Network's Nicole Pedalides is live on Wall Street.
Right now, we are gaining once again. Last week we saw gains up 2 of the last 3 trading weeks for the Dow. Right now, the Dow is up 129 points. All 10 sectors are to the upside. We're seeing the NASDAQ up 35, the S&P 500 up 14. The NASDAQ, right now, the Dow is trading at a level of 18,253. We're also seeing some moves on Facebook. That's to the upside after a Citigroup upgrade. Tesla and SolarCity are mixed. Now there's talk that the joint group together may be delayed. And we're watching for the Fed on Wednesday. Will they hike those rates? Back to you.
Thank you, Nicole. The price of oil is up 65 cents, close to $44 a barrel again. Gas is a bit more expensive today. AAA's national average close to $2.21 a gallon. In Georgia, the price has risen 21 cents in the past week because of supply shortages.
Hit like 3 gas stations up and all of them empty.
Other gas stations only getting smaller deliveries these days. Fallout from a pipeline spill in central Alabama that's also affected Tennessee and the Carolinas. The trial starts today in New Jersey in what's become an infamous traffic jam.
It's become known as Bridgegate, the scandal involving New Jersey Governor Chris Christie and the closing of access lanes to the George Washington Bridge in September 2013. The bridge connects Fort Lee, New Jersey to Manhattan. One of the questions to come up will be, when did Christie know the lane closures had been ordered by subordinates? A former Christie staffer who is expected to testify texted a colleague during a December news conference saying that the governor flat out lied, according to a court filing last month. Christie denies he lied. Another thing to watch for, what's on Christie's cell phone, which was subpoenaed by defense attorneys. In New York, Tanya J. Powers, Fox News.
Chicago and Philadelphia will close out week 2 of the NFL season tonight. If the Eagles win, they'll join 7 other teams that are now 2-0 to start the year. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
All they had to do was rid themselves of Chip Kelly, right? News Radio 1120 KPNW 705. It's a Monday, September 19th, 2016. Today, currently, we've got some foggy conditions out there. Partly cloudy and 72 the expected top temp. Currently 51 degrees. I-5 at milepost 146. We got 10 miles north of Sutherland. An issue there on the southbound shoulder. Also, Highway 38, one of those big city problems at milepost 33, not that far away from Elkton. Cows. We got cows on the highway.
Isn't that a song?
Cows on the Highway?
Yeah, isn't that a Kenny Chesney tune? Cows on the Highway?
If it isn't, it should be.
Yeah.
That's definitely a title.
Cows
there.
on the Highway, Girls in the Field. Isn't that the if I recall correctly?
I think like 3 months after moving back to Eugene, I don't know what the timeline was, but I knew that I wasn't in New Orleans anymore when somebody called in a report from Oak Ridge or just outside of Oak Ridge, had a bear on the road. Like, man, how cool is that? I mean, not cool if you're
the bear.
If you're driving around that vicinity. If you see anything that Bear is reporting, just let us know. And a reminder, the babies out there on the roadways. Still, a couple weeks into it, maybe you're not used to school being in session. So just make sure. And you see maybe 1 out of 4 people kind of decrease on the speed when they come into a school zone. You're not supposed to be going highway speeds in those vicinities. Just a reminder. All right. Hey, Kevin's Terror coming up.
Yep. Kevin's coming up. We're going to be talking about that reverend who decided, I'm going to win myself an AR-15, and then I'm going to give it to somebody else, and we're going to destroy it, and how that's illegal under Oregon law, unless, of course, you happen to be against guns, and then it's okay. We'll have the story coming up, and we'll hear from Kevin in regards to that in just a little bit. In the way of news, well, some more news coming out about the terror attacks on the East Coast. We'll hear from the governor of New York City, and we'll hear from a presidential candidate talking about what needs to happen to battle terrorism. We'll also take a look at a lack of school nurses and what it could mean for your kids. Those stories and more are coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, here on KPNW.
News time 7:07.
It's back to school time and morning mayhem at its family finest. Well, stop the insanity and treat yourself and the kids to Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. Save yourself a little stress and go through the Burrito Amigos drive-thru on West 6th in Eugene or on 42nd Street in Springfield. No fighting over milk, cereal, or the last piece of bacon. Burrito Amigos has great breakfast burritos, like their bacon burritos with 2 types of bacon, or the Machaca burrito, made with real Angus beef. Of course, if your little one or maybe you likes to spice things up, then maybe a chorizo breakfast burrito will kick it up a notch, to steal a phrase. Burrito Amigos drive-thrus also offer espresso for a meal and a mocha while you motor. For little appetites, there's the junior-sized burritos, and for your burgeoning linemen, get them full-size. The kids will love Burrito Amigos as a breakfast treat, and you'll love Burrito Amigos because you didn't have to make anything. I'm Bill London, and as a parent, I endorse Burrito Amigos as an instrument of morning mental health. Burrito Amigos in Springfield and Eugene.
Get stoked on your next stove or fireplace insert at Midgley's. Get zero-interest financing on Yodel, Valor, and Blaze King on approved credit. When Midgley's installs your wood or pellet stove, they'll throw in an accessory bag and your first chimney cleaning for free. That's over $250 in savings. We're at 7th and Chambers in Eugene. Our customer-friendly parking lot is located behind our store. Midgley's. Anywhere else, and you're just playing with fire. CCB 161946.
See store for posted details. Sherman Brothers Trucking is looking for regional flatbed and tanker drivers. Great benefits include medical, dental, vision, 401k, and paid vacation. They're also looking for certified diesel mechanics. Sherman Brothers has been family-owned since 1969 and offers a great work environment. Sherman Brothers prides themselves on the quality of their employees and the service the company provides. Excellent training and quality management will help you reach your goals. Check out ShermanTrucking.com for more details or call 800-457-1459 today.
Now, this morning's wake-up call with the latest news from the Northwest and your neighborhood on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones, featuring great breakfast burritos and, of course, fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. More information coming to light after a series of bombings took place over the weekend, one in Seaside Park, New Jersey, and another in New York's Chelsea neighborhood. The New Jersey explosion taking place inside of a garbage can along the route of a charity run. Fortunately, no one was injured, but later in the day, the New York City bomb went off, injuring 29 people, with authorities finding a pressure cooker bomb unexploded nearby. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo says that investigators are looking at the potential of a connection.
They're not identical, but they are similar, which would suggest that you could have had a common mastermind in the construction of the bombs.
Now Cuomo is saying that there appears to be a foreign connection in the New York City bombing, even though he said over the weekend at one point that there was no foreign connection, offering coverage to the Obama administration. The person of interest has been named as 28-year-old Ahmad Khan Rahami. Shortly after Saturday night's explosion, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump said, quote, "We've got to get tough." During an interview on Fox and Friends this morning, Trump told co-host Steve Doocy about his plan for defeating terrorists.
We're going to have to do something extremely tough over there, okay?
Like what?
Over there, like knock the hell out of them. And we have to get everybody together, and we have to lead for a change, because we're not knocking them. We're hitting them every once in a while. We're hitting them in certain places. We're being very gentle about it. We're going to have to be very tough, and you have other countries over there that are getting devastated far more than we are, and you have to get them together. It's called leadership, and they have to fight. You know, they have to fight the battle. The battle's over there, and we have to fight the battle.
Sunday night, FBI agents stopped a car on a New York City highway and detained 5 passengers who are still being questioned at an FBI office in Manhattan. Also Sunday, a backpack containing 5 bombs was discovered near the train station in the town of Elizabeth, New Jersey, not far from New York City. This morning, the FBI has conducted a raid on an apartment in Elizabeth. Facebook posts played a key role Friday in the trial of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge occupiers. Brad Ford has more.
The prosecution is using the Facebook post to show planning and intent of the 7 defendants. Oregon Live reports that in one post, Ammon Bundy wrote, "I would never show up to a rally without my arms." After the occupation began, Bundy wrote, "Forgive me, Father, for I will sin." His attorney tried to keep that post out of the trial because he thought it was unfairly prejudicial. The judge allowed it because it helps define Bundy's state of mind. The FBI searched 300,000 pages of defendants' Facebook accounts, searching for terms relevant to the alleged conspiracy. Brad Ford, KPNW.
A 2-vehicle accident left one person dead and another in the hospital Sunday morning. It happened at about 4:18 a.m. Oregon State Police said a Ford Explorer traveling southbound on I-5 took the exit for Highway 42. But when the driver turned right on the off-ramp, the truck drifted and it rolled. The Ford rolled onto both lanes of Highway 42, where it was slammed into by a semi-truck. According to OSP, the driver of the Ford, Anthony Weber of Roseburg, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi-truck, Richard Arceo, was taken to Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg for minor injuries. A new clinic is open at the University of Oregon to increase access to venereal disease screenings. The clinic opened a week before the fall semester. Physicians at the U of O say the university decided to move forward on the clinic because research shows that students between 19 and 24 are more prone to infections when compared to other groups. Research shows there is less access to screenings and to physicians and clinicians among the age group. Plus, they're less sure how to get to a medical office, less sure what questions to ask, and they have concerns about confidentiality. The new clinic will also reduce the waiting times for testing. They say the screenings are meant for students who don't have symptoms of an infection. Students can get tested for several infections, including chlamydia, gonorrhea, and HIV, among others. The clinic will also offer students the option to pay cash for the procedures to increase confidentiality. The Oregon Liquor Control Commission wants medical marijuana dispensaries to transition to recreational marijuana stores. Brad Ford says they're creating new rules to speed along that process.
The Oregon Liquor Control Commission is allowing medical marijuana stores to sell their existing inventory until next March, as long as they transition to become recreational marijuana stores. The medical marijuana doesn't undergo the same testing and tracking as does the marijuana and other products that will be sold as recreational marijuana. The state has been licensing growers, processors, testing labs, and retailers, so they're ready for the transition that will happen beginning October 1st. Medical marijuana dispensaries will have until March of next year to sell their remaining supplies of marijuana and other products.
Brad Ford, KPNW News.
The state of Oregon has filed lawsuits against people it says were responsible for starting a pair of forest fires. The state filed one suit against a man who was accused of napping while his campfire sparked a 200-acre Southern Oregon blaze. In that case, the state is looking for $900,000 to cover the costs of putting out the July 2014 fire. The suit names Joe Thurmond Askins, his wife and stepdaughter. The state also filed a $3.5 million lawsuit against an Eastern Oregon rancher who investigators say negligently drove a utility vehicle across fields of bone-dry grass, igniting a 2,700-acre wildfire in Grant County in August of 2014. According to the second lawsuit, rancher John Haberstad should have known that the exhaust system on his utility vehicle posed a fire hazard. Deputies have arrested an Aloha man accused of secretly filming his co-workers in a restroom after he was found with thousands of stolen female undergarments and child porn. An investigation into 37-year-old Leighton Tilford Olson began after deputies were called to a suspicious circumstance in an Aloha community. Deputies obtained a search warrant for Olson's home and contacted child abuse detectives. During the search, detectives say they discovered that Olson had been recording his co-workers in an employee restroom of Little Caesars Pizza in Aloha. Detectives say they also found recordings of unsuspecting victims in the bathroom of his apartment. Olson was indicted on 5 counts of invasion of personal privacy, 4 counts of first-degree encouraging child sexual abuse, 4 counts of using a child in a display of sexually explicit conduct, 2 counts of second-degree theft, and a count of burglary in the first. He was arrested at a court hearing. His bail is set at $1.1 million. Deputies say the investigation is ongoing, and they expect additional charges. Well, the 106th Pendleton Roundup is in the books. More than 700 contestants competed for a share of half of the $500,000 of total prize money. Believe it or not, it's one of the highest-paying rodeos in the world. Shane Erickson of Terrebonne was named the rodeo's all-around cowboy after winning money in the calf roping and team roping events.
This is probably truly one of the best rodeos you could win because of all the stuff they give you, and they appreciate, you come in, and they do a great job around here. This is, I went to school here, and so I kind of got the feeling of it before I ever entered, so I knew what it was all about when I was younger, so it's a great feeling.
The week-long celebration also featured the 100th anniversary of the Happy Canyon Indian Pageant and Wild West Show. An increasing number of Oregon school districts are eliminating a nurse. Brad Ford says it's happening at a time when more students need medical help at school.
As school budgets tighten, school nurses are eyed as being expendable.
Oftentimes, the school nurse is one of the first positions cut.
Nina Fakaris, chair of the task force on school nurses, says 79 out of 197 school districts in Oregon don't have a nurse. It's affecting around 30,000 students. Fakaris says without a nurse, students often go home if they have a medical issue.
Studies show that if you have a full-time nurse in your health room, they're much more likely to keep kids at school.
Fakaris says an increasing number of students have medical issues where a nurse is needed to provide care. She says not having a nurse can put a school at greater risk of liability if a student has a medical problem. Brad Ford, KPNW.
More than a quarter of Americans age 50 and older do not move beyond basic everyday activities, according to a new report from the CDC. Despite the many benefits of moderate physical activity, including decreased risk of heart disease, diabetes, dementia, cancer, and early death, the CDC says about 31 million U.S. adults are essentially inactive. A study of all 50 states showed that physical inactivity was higher for women. Almost 30% of women get no regular exercise. 25% of men fall into that category. Age, they say, also played a role. Inactivities significantly increased in older years. For example, 25% of adults between the ages of 50 and 64 didn't exercise regularly. That rises to 27% if you're 65 and older, and 35% for folks 75 and older. Geographically, inactivity levels were highest in the South, followed by the Midwest, and then the Northeast. Inactivity was lowest in the West. Ranked by state, Arkansas has the highest rate of inactivity, with almost 39% of residents getting no exercise. Colorado, the lowest, at 17.9%. And finally, thousands of volunteers, maybe you, will hit the coast this weekend for the annual Fall Solve Beach and River Cleanup. Brad Ford has our final story.
The project to remove litter and debris from the beaches is in its 33rd year.
It's become this family-friendly event. It's become quite an Oregon tradition.
Solve's Joy Hawkins says back in 1984, the cleanup was confined to Oregon's 363-mile coastline, but it's grown in the years since to include rivers, neighborhoods, and parks.
A lot of the trash that ends up on our beaches and in our waterways comes from city streets and neighborhoods. It's really important to clean up all over the state.
Last year, volunteers collected more than 550,000 pounds of litter. Solve provides tools for the cleanup. There are over 110 project sites across the state, including 46 on the coast. Choose a site and sign up at solveoregon.org. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
Well, if the first 2 weeks of the NFL season are any indication, this season is going to be a wild ride. The Rams, back in L.A. after 22 years, beat the Seattle Seahawks despite only scoring 9 points. Seahawks limited to a field goal in front of 91,046 at L.A.'s Memorial Coliseum. Former Duck Marcus Mariota completed all 9 of his passes as the Tennessee Titans marched down the field in a comeback attempt. On a 4th down, Marcus lofted a 9-yard touchdown pass to Andre Johnson. With just over a minute left, Titans turned back the Detroit Lions 16-15. In Charlotte, Cam Newton overcame an opening interception to throw for 353 yards, 4 touchdowns. The Carolina Panthers foiled the 49ers 46-27. Last night, it was Sam Bradford, not Aaron Rodgers, who was the unlikely hero of the game. 15 days ago, the Vikings signed Bradford, and he ran the offense like he's been with the team for 15 years. Minnesota dumps Green Bay 17-14. Oregon, to no one's surprise, falls out of the top 25 after the Nebraska loss on Saturday. Huskers are in the top 25 for the first time under Coach Riley at number 20. And congrats to OSU. They defeated Idaho State 37-7 at Reeser over the weekend, snapped a 10-game losing streak. Friday preps, Eagle Point hung 52 on Springfield 52-zip. Thurston beat North Eugene 48-42. Churchill and Ashland combined for 97 points. Lancers lose by 1. Triangle Lake was good on the offensive, downing Elkton 68-38. 6A girls soccer, South Eugene shut out Roseburg 1-0. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW, brought to you by Max Muscle, where you can always try before you buy. Max Muscle on Franklin and Cross from Market of Choice. News time 7:23.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, you're already out and about. We do have partly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s with winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. I expect the fog to burn off by about 10 a.m. Now, the storm system from the weekend has begun to pull away, but we're still seeing low pressure over the Pacific Northwest, as well as an unstable environment. That means partly cloudy skies will continue into the afternoon with highs only in the upper 60s to low 70s, 72 here in town. The winds will stay northwest at 5 to 10. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Does your home or business have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Discover why Ramjack is the only foundation company you'll ever need. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Choose Ramjack. CCV 146906.
Hi, everybody. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute, sponsored by Eugene's #1 electrical contractor, Builders Electric. I just can't believe how many people let the stresses of life drag them down to the lowest level. And someone once said, stress is like an ice cream cone. You have to learn to lick it. Licking stress only comes from using your talents and strengths to plan, set goals, focus on the positive, and surround yourself with positive people. Stress reduction never comes during a pity party. Use today to focus on the ways you can lick your stresses. It'll feel just like eating your favorite ice cream cone. This is Don Essig with today's Motivational Minute. I'll be back tomorrow. Until then, have a positive day.
This Motivational Minute was brought to you by Builders Electric, providing honest, reliable, and positive contracting throughout the Willamette Valley since 1960. That's Builders Electric, CCB number 4296.
This is your intrepid reporter high in the sky over Sherry's Cafe and Pies with today's traffic and weather. Looks like fiery hot conditions, immediately followed by icy cold comfort thanks to Sherry's free Milkshake Mondays. Order any fire-grilled Northwest burger and get a free hand-scoop traditional milkshake from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now for traffic. Looks like all roads leading to Sherry's are already thicker than a free milkshake. So you'd better get going. Sherry's Cafe and Pies. Fresh, local, delicious. Pilot, see if you can land in the parking lot.
Tom here at Max Muscle. You've heard about all the amazing flavors of Max Pro, and now the wait is over. S'mores. The new flavor of Max Pro is in stores now. The perfect high-protein, low-carb, no-sugar shake. Come on in, give it a try. Max Muscle on Franklin Boulevard, across from the Market of Choice.
All right, well, if you've had a fun summer of your dogs running in and out of the house, the kids running in and out of the house, and you've noticed, oh, the carpet is destroyed, give the folks at Zero Res a call. What they do is a pretty different process. They use a water that has been run through an electrolysis process. Physics says when you do that, it changes the pH of the water, actually turns it more into alkali. And it allows that water to lift stains where normal water wouldn't. The cool thing is that once the electrolysis process is removed, the water goes back to being plain old water. And as a result, what's evaporating off your carpet isn't chemicals, it isn't soap, it's just plain old water. And that's why, if you've ever noticed when you've shampooed your carpet, you get that kind of gritty, weird feeling in the carpet fibers. Well, that's because it's still remnants of the stuff that was put on the carpet, and it attracts more dirt. And this way it doesn't. Give Zero Res a call this month. If you say the KPNW told you to call, you'll get 15% off all services for 3 rooms. If you book 5 rooms, 20% off all services. Call them. Tell them KPNW said to call and save a bunch of money. It's Zero Res, 988-0. That's 541-988-ZERO. Or just look up online, Zero Res of Eugene.
Due to technical difficulties beyond our control, the wake-up call will continue this morning.
The wake-up call. Pass it on. 1120 KPNW.
News Radio 1120 KPNW. Thanks for joining us this morning. Well, it was a story that not only gained headlines throughout the state, but also around the country, of an Oregon pastor who decided, you know what? I don't like weapons. So what I'm going to do is, for this raffle that was done by, I believe, a softball team, he spent $3,000, bought a ton of raffle tickets, won an AR-15, and then said, I'm going to destroy this to make a statement. And then, against the law, he transferred that gun to somebody else that didn't go through a background check. Later on, the OSP was forced to investigate, and they came back and said, well, we don't have the evidence to prosecute because, well, they didn't voluntarily tell us who it was that took the gun. And so we can't prosecute that. Joining us to talk about that this morning, and with a few more details from the Oregon Firearms Federation, it is Kevin Sterrett, now officially a frequent flyer on the Wake Up Call. Kevin, thanks for being back with us this week. Kevin, are you there? There you are.
Are you there, Bill?
Yeah.
Okay.
I got you now. Okay, so I kind of summed it up. I gave a thumbnail sketch. There's a whole lot more to it. I'll let you kind of fill in the details. What I find interesting here is that you sent a letter to, I think, the Oregon State Police, 30 different members of the legislature, and yet complaining about this, and yet you were referred to as an anonymous complaint, right?
Well, actually, a lot of the media has reported that I sent a letter when, in fact, I sent an email. And the reason that matters is because it says when was the thing received, because the state police were claiming they didn't know about it until the Monday following the Thursday or whatever that this thing came out, which isn't true because they all got the email at the same time. They also contacted the chief of police of Lake Oswego, Don Johnson, who was a vocal supporter of restricting the rights of Oregonians to transfer firearms to each other, came to Salem to demand that we cannot transfer a firearm even to a close friend or neighbor, can't store a firearm for a friend unless we get the permission of the state police. I contacted him, and he claims it was anonymous, which is totally false. I don't do anything anonymously. Contacted him and Lake Oswego City Council, and Don Johnson, who, of course, is a big promoter of this law, decided he just didn't want to handle this. So he called the state police, and the state police spent a month basically doing nothing. The investigating officer said that she went to the pastors, I guess, to the church, and he wouldn't answer the door, and there was nothing she could do because he wouldn't talk to her. And she couldn't find him. She couldn't find a guy who serves Mass every Sunday in the same place in Lake Oswego. So, look, this is probably not her fault. I mean, it makes her look foolish, that's true, but we know the word came down from up above that they couldn't possibly cite this guy. They couldn't cite him because were he to be prosecuted, then everybody, whether they were gun owners or not, paying attention to the issue or not, would see how stupid and pointless and dangerous this law is. So instead, he lawyered up. After saying he was eager to talk to the state police, went into his little hidey hole. He's a good man of the cloth who stole his congregation's money to gamble with. And, of course, he walked because he is a affluent, liberal, anti-gunner in a state run by affluent, liberal anti-gunners. And, of course, the question is, are the state police going to extend this courtesy to every young black man in North Portland who maybe leaves a gun at another person's house because it's safer there, doing nothing wrong? And I don't think that they're going to extend that courtesy to those people just because they won't answer their door.
Have you done any public records requests to see if there were any emails or transmissions that were sent from, government higher-ups to the Oregon State Police, essentially saying...
No. I'll tell you, there's no way that would happen that way. I mean, there's no way that Kate Brown sent a message to the investigating officer's boss and said, back her off. This is all going to be done off the record. Kate Brown talks to a subordinate, who talks to a subordinate, who talks to someone at the state police, who stops by the office in Portland and says, you know what, this probably wouldn't be a good idea to pursue this. So, I mean, they could, theoretically could be that stupid, but that's just not the way it is. I mean, it's just understood what's going on here. And, it's amazing, after the news that we got yesterday with attacks in malls by knife-wielding ISIS people, bombs in New York and New Jersey, a New York cop cut with a meat cleaver, all of these things, we are facing this heightening up of these terrorist attacks, and yet in Oregon, the people in power not only want to prevent Oregonians from having the means to protect themselves, but are on record encouraging the process of bringing more of these people into our state. It's statewide suicide, it's lunacy, and it's really, really scary.
Let's talk a little bit about the upcoming legislative session that we're going to have here after the first of the year. What kind of bills, or what bills do you know are going to be presented in regards to, curtailing gun rights?
Well, what we've been told is what the left has promised is a ban on modern rifles, a ban on standard capacity magazines for rifles. They will reintroduce their bill that says if the state police can't complete a background check, you just wait forever until they decide to do it. And we've had people wait for 2 years to have the state police complete a background check. And, who knows, every year they bring around the same thing, so I suspect that'll all happen. And, the intensity of it will depend on how much money Bloomberg wants to spend. He's already given $250,000 to Kate Brown. And I know that there will be some bills introduced by Republicans to try to address some of the worst features of Senate Bill 941, which is the bill that now says you cannot store a firearm for a friend, or you cannot buy a firearm if you are in a protected category like the Address Confidentiality Program. Those people who are most at risk, typically women, are forbidden from buying firearms. People who live full-time in recreational vehicles are forbidden from buying firearms. And these are all things
that... Did that pass? Or is that something that they're going to try to pass? If you live
that's part of the existing law. That's part of Senate Bill 941.
I had no idea. So you're saying that a snowbirder, somebody that lives in, and there are people that do that, they can't buy a firearm legally in Oregon?
That's correct. Because it is now illegal to transfer a firearm between private parties.
Right.
And people who live full-time in RVs typically have driver's licenses that say, I believe it says persistent traveler on it. It does not have a home address. And if you do not have a home address on your ID, you may not purchase a firearm from a dealer, and of course now you can't get one from a private party because it has to go through a dealer. This is the same problem that women in the address confidentiality program have. Their address is suppressed, which means that every piece of ID they have has a post office box on it that's administered by the Department of Justice, and no mail comes to their real address. So they're in that same situation. So, I mean, I recently was dealing with a woman who's been in hiding for 3 years, and recently her ex became her ex-husband, has been telling her for 3 years he's going to kill her, and she is not illegally allowed to purchase a firearm or get one from a private party.
And of course, it's illegal to go across state lines and buy a firearm and bring it back.
That's correct. And so, and I would like to say these were the unintended consequences of ignorant legislators, but they knew about all of this stuff. It was like when they were debating 941, and Senator Doug Whitsitt got up on the Senate floor and said, look, I come up here from Southern Oregon to serve in the legislature. And his wife served in the legislature as well in the House. Said, we bring the guns that we carry with us, but we can't leave all our other guns in our home. There's a lot of property crime in Southern Oregon, so we've been storing them in the safe of a friend. Is that going to be illegal? And Jennifer Williamson said, yep, that's your problem. And so it's your problem if you're a conservative, legitimate gun owner. If you're an affluent, liberal, anti-gunner from Lake Oswego, you just skate.
How frustrating is it for you? I mean, this is your passion. OFF is something you've been doing for quite a while, the Oregon Firearms Federation. How frustrating is this for you to see the way that the legislature continues to pick away at Second Amendment rights?
Well, it's frustrating to know that people across this state are being negatively affected by greedy, dishonest people in terms of their ability to exercise their Second Amendment rights and to protect themselves and their family. But what's even more frustrating is to deal with legislators. I'm talking lawyers, lobbyists, legislators, judges who come down to Salem and publicly lie to members of committees. The members of the committees know they're being lied to. When you demonstrate that they're lying, and I'm saying we're talking about other legislators who come and blatantly lie, and when you prove and say, look, what they're saying is not true, they come back the following day and say it again. That's very frustrating to see that, and it's frustrating to see people that keep voting for greedy folks who lie to promote their agenda. I mean, even if you support a far left agenda, wouldn't you want it done by people who are telling the truth about it? And apparently not. I mean, we see legislators, lawyers, district attorneys, judges coming, sitting before House and Senate Judiciary Committee and blatantly lying to them, and then bills are passed, and when we point out that the bills were based on falsehoods, committee chairs say, well, but it doesn't hurt. But it does hurt. It does hurt because they create laws that are built on falsehoods, and in many cases they create laws that simply make no sense. And I've had a situation where I'm looking at a bill that's about to be passed on one house by one house or the other, and I said, look, if you look at this bill, it literally doesn't make sense. And they say, well, yeah, but we want to get it passed. We'll fix that some other time. I say, yeah, but people who are going to be prosecuted under it now have no idea what is and is not lawful.
Amazing. For folks that don't know about OFF, the Oregon Firearms Federation, I'm going to assume that a lot of our listeners do since we've had you on a number of times. But for folks that are maybe just tuning in, haven't heard you on the air before, let them know where they can go to find out more information about OFF and what you do.
Well, the best place, of course, is our website, OregonFirearms.org, and there's a lot of information there about what we are, who we are, what we've done. There's a place where you can sign up to get our legislative email alerts, so if you're interested in your rights, you'll be the first to know when the legislature is trying to steal them and what you can do about it. There's places there where you can join, and we'd love to have the support, but in any event, the email alerts are free, and it's easy to do that. As I said, there's quite a bit of information there, and of course, if people have questions, there's the contact info. We respond. Okay, you're not going to wait 6 months to hear back from us.
All right, Kevin, thanks for joining us on the Wake Up Call. We appreciate it. Always a pleasure to talk with you.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.
You too, Kevin. Take care. Kevin Sterrett with the Oregon Firearms Federation. It's 740 News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. It is set to be a huge week for monetary policy, with the Federal Reserve set to meet. Expectations for an interest rate hike from the Fed remain low. Ahead of that, stocks are higher, with the Dow rising over 100 points. CenturyLink is planning to eliminate 7 to 8% of its workforce. That would be about 3,400 employees. The phone company is looking to cut costs as sales decline in its landline communications business. ITT Tech filed for bankruptcy on Friday. The company recently closed its 136 technical schools in one of the largest college shutdowns in history. Almost a year after the official switch to chip cards, only a third of merchant locations in the U.S. accept them. That's according to MasterCard. An additional third are somewhere in the process of switching over, according to payment expert Crone Consulting. Thousands of stores around the U.S. currently have their chip card slot taped up as they try to achieve certification with individual payment processors, a procedure that can take months. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg Radio.
Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair would like to remind you that weather is changing and winter is right around the corner. Getting your vehicle ready requires more than just installing snow tires. Your antifreeze protection needs to be checked, belts and hoses inspected and replaced if needed, and windshield wipers replaced for clear vision ahead. Stop by Midlane Truck and Equipment Repair today to schedule an appointment, and don't let old man winter leave you out in the cold. Call 541-345-7570 or visit MidlaneTruckEquipRepair.com.
At Michelob Ultra, we know it's not just about how much you work out every day. It's about how much you work into every day, too. That's why we brew a beer for those who realize that expending calories should never come at the expense of spending time with friends. And for those who understand that just because you work out doesn't mean you can't go out. Hey, that's why we brew Michelob Ultra to have 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and an exceptional taste. Michelob Ultra, brewed for those who go the extra mile. Enjoy responsibly. 2016 Michelob Ultra Light Beer, Anheuser-Busch, St. Louis, Missouri. 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, 0.6 grams protein, 0 grams fat per 12 ounces.
I'm meteorologist Travis Knutson. More people in Western Oregon get their weather from KVAL News than any other station. From the latest driving and weather conditions throughout Oregon to interactive radar featuring the latest weather conditions accurate to your neighborhood. Plus, KVAL brings you hour-by-hour forecast, weather on the hour, and breaking weather updates. It's accurate and reliable weather coverage when you want it. Only from KVAL News and KVAL.com.
CBS Premiere Week is here, and it starts with a bang. First, TV's #1 comedy, The Big Bang Theory, on its new night.
Why do people cry at weddings?
They're practicing for what's coming later.
Then The King is back.
Now it's our time.
Kevin James returns to CBS in his new comedy, Kevin Can Wait.
And by the way, I'm on the Yelp now, so I will bring this place down.
Series premieres CBS tonight.
Tonight on KVAL, Channel 13.
I'm Gary Conley with today's Money Minute. Recently, I suggested that the Madison Avenue version of retirement with golf, travel, and other resort amenities was just a passing phase, and that for most people today, a relatively short retirement like the one that existed 60 or 70 years ago will again become the norm. That means you'll need to work longer and save more to fund a retirement that might last 5 or 10 years instead of 25 or 30. So if you look carefully at your own situation, including your savings and what it costs to live, where are you really? Many of you have a 401k to fund your retirement, and even those with pension plans like government employees and teachers ought to give some thought to what will happen if those benefits are cut or eliminated, because the taxpayers simply can't pay for them. For most, the harsh but obvious answer is that you'll need to work longer or fall into poverty. Here's the nugget. This means keeping up your skills and, if possible, working your way into a job that, even if you don't actually love it, is at least one you don't hate. Another thing is protecting your health, because being unhealthy is a drain on both your finances and your ability to work. We're talking hard stuff here, like saving, exercising, losing weight, and not smoking. But you know the drill. I'm Gary Conley, and that's today's Money Minute.
KPNW weather, brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now are coming into the upper 40s to low 50s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. Now, this fog will be gone by about 9 or 10 in the morning. But we're not seeing any high pressure moving in behind the storm system from the weekend. That means an unstable environment. Partly cloudy skies will continue this afternoon. Highs only climbing to the upper 60s to low 70s as winds will stay out of the northwest at 5 to 10, bringing in cooler air. We're already tracking another storm system for next weekend, as well as a small chance at rain each and every day this week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
7:44. Thanks for being with us. Still some fog out there. Be careful as you drive. Make sure that you turn your headlights off so you don't kill your battery, too. Well, last week, if you were listening to the show on Tuesday, we had Julie from Lucky Paws on, and we got into a conversation dealing with low-cost vet care. And during the course of that conversation, Julie brought up the group Pro Bono here in the local area. And so we thought, well, maybe it would be a good idea to hear from the folks at Pro Bono. Joining us, she's been a board member since almost the inception of Pro Bono back in 1998. Jeannie Peterson joins us on the Wake Up Call. Jeannie, thanks for being with us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you, and we appreciate the opportunity.
Oh, our pleasure. So, who started Pro Bono, and what was the initial mission statement?
It was started by a veterinarian named Dr. Doreen Hawk and her office manager, Lynn Gilman Garrick. Their clinic was on, 6th or 7th, but that corridor where there were a lot of people who were homeless walking up and down the streets and going in and asking for help with their pets. And they realized, Doreen and Lynn realized, that there was a huge need out there. And so they started it, and responding to a need that they saw. And we started out just in the summer in a parking lot lent to us by Catholic Community Services way back then.
Mm-hmm. And through the years, you've continued operating. Now, does Pro Bono only serve the homeless/transient community, or is it also for other low-income residents?
Our mission is to serve the companion animals of people who are unhoused in Lane County.
And how much, when you say, when you say serve them, besides veterinary care and things like that, are there other things like, I don't know, pet food or, leashes, halters, that kind of thing? I mean, expand on it a little bit.
All of the above. We do the vet care itself, and we have pet food and pet supplies. And we also, when we got to a point where we could afford, we had the resources to provide spay and neuter, we started requiring that the animals be spayed or neutered within 3 months of their first visit to us in order to continue using our services. Mm-hmm. And we provide free to our clients vouchers to have their pets spayed or neutered. And those surgeries are done at various clinics throughout the Eugene-Springfield area, some free, some at low cost, and some we pay full cost for.
Right. How much a year does it cost to operate Pro Bono?
Oh, shoot. That's not my area of expertise. We operate on grants and donations, and we operate really inexpensively considering the amount of work we do, because we can give away expired pet food and medicines. You can't sell them, but we can give them away, and we have one person who is paid. She's an independent contractor, and her job is to go through all of the donations that we receive and keep them for as long as they are good, and then get rid of them when we can no longer use them. So a lot of our meds and supplies are donated to us, and then we have a lot of grants.
How many animals do you figure that on an annual basis that end up being cared for by pro bono?
We can see 50 to 60 animals in a clinic, and we have 22 clinics a year. So it's a lot of animals, and a lot of spay-neuters, and a lot of leashes, and it's really pretty amazing, the amount of clients that we can serve. And excuse me,
sure.
We don't have a surgical suite, so we have to partner with other clinics in the county to do the spay-neuter. And so we're limited, I hate to use that word, but we are limited in what we can offer at our clinics just because of the nature of the clinic.
How many veterinarians do you have in the local area that regularly or maybe semi-regularly volunteer their services to treat these particular animals?
About 20. And then we also have, we've partnered with the vet students at OSU, and they come down from Corvallis every clinic and serve as vet techs. And so we kind of funnel our clients into two separate lines, one to see the vet and one to see the vet techs. And the vet techs do things like nail trimming and vaccinations and worming and that kind of thing, and then the vet gets the more serious, if you will, situations and the minor injuries and wounds and
things like that.
So we once we partnered with OSU, we could see a lot more folks, and the students get incredible experience that is very valuable to them. So it's really a win-win situation for OSU students and for pro bono.
So for folks that want to find out more about what you do, maybe they want to volunteer their time and efforts, maybe they want to volunteer some money, maybe they know somebody that could use the services, how can they go about finding out more, Jeannie?
Can go on our website at probono.org, and it's PROBONEO. And also we have a phone number.
Sure.
541. Oh dear, I'm blanking. Sorry.
You didn't have enough coffee this morning.
That must be the case. 541-607-8089.
All right. That's 607-8089. Anything else you want to mention, Jeannie? You have any upcoming events or anything like that you want to promote while we've got you on the phone here briefly?
We'll be looking for a big event coming up in May of this coming year. Mm-hmm. We're working on it now. We're going to kind of keep it under wraps for a while and have it be a big surprise, hopefully, and a very successful surprise. Just want to say that we have just recently in June moved to the Eugene Mission, and we have a wonderful space there, and the Eugene Mission has been gracious, and welcoming to us. We just couldn't be happier to be in that space and to be in a place with another group that understands our population and the people we serve. So that was a really good move.
All right. Well, Jeannie, we're going to have to leave it with that. Jeannie Peterson with Pro Bono. Again, the number is 541-607-8089. Jeannie, thanks for being on the show this morning. Thanks for telling us about Pro Bono for folks that don't know, and you have a great rest of your day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
Bye-bye.
You take care. 755 News Radio, 1120 KPNW.
Tired of long wait times and high prices at your local boat repair shop? The Boat Dock LLC Marine Repair in Springfield has the fastest turnover. With state-of-the-art test equipment and on-site test tank, the jobs are done right the first time. From simple tune-ups and water pumps to complete repowers on all types of marine power boats, the Boat Dock LLC is the shop to visit at 1252 30th Street in Springfield. A Better Business Bureau accredited business. Visit their website at eugeneboatrepair.com. That's eugeneboatrepair.com.
The RV Corral has the best selection of the #1 selling motorhomes in the industry. Allegro by Tiffin, Winnebago, Sunseeker by Forest River, the Asada line by Dynamax, and Fleetwood. With low interest rates and easy financing, now is the best time to get that motorhome you've been dreaming of. And don't forget to mention that you're a military, police officer, or firefighter to receive a special discount at our parts and service department. Your camping fun starts at the RV Corral a mile south of the Beltline on Highway 99 or RVCorral.com.
The best window sale in Oregon just keeps getting better.
Discount Windows Vinyl 99 sale.
Thousands of overstock windows on site, including Ply Gem windows.
Factory first, overstock windows, just $99 each.
Or less.
Why less, Vic? $99 is an amazing deal.
Lee, the lowest prices on overstock is one reason we're Discount Windows.
You're good, and so is this sale.
Discount Windows, Highway 99, Junction City, open 7 days a week.
This is your intrepid reporter high in the sky over Sherry's Cafe and Pies with today's traffic and weather. Looks like fiery hot conditions, immediately followed by icy cold comfort thanks to Sherry's free Milkshake Mondays. Order any fire-grilled Northwest burger and get a free hand-scooped traditional milkshake from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Now for traffic. Looks like all roads leading to Sherry's are already thicker than a free milkshake. So you'd better get going. Sherry's Cafe and Pies. Fresh, local, delicious. Pilot, see if you can land in the parking lot.
The following is a presentation of KPNW Sports. This is News Radio 1120, KPNW, Eugene, Springfield, USA.
Even with the greatest real estate we've seen in a decade, do you realize that 20% of homes go pending and then fall out, which ends up netting you, the seller, less money? The reason? You hired the wrong real estate agent. If you want a great price and have a great experience, hire Harpole Homes with Keller Williams Realty.
Fact, not all agents are created equal. When you sell your house with Eric and Jeanette's team, you get thousands more dollars in your pocket. With the extra money the Harpoles net you, you can take a vacation, pay off debt, or put more down on your next home.
How did the Harpole Homes do it? Negotiating, marketing, and their exclusive certified pre-owned home program. When you hire Harpole Homes to sell your house, they pay for your home inspection up front to take care of the issues to ensure your home stays sold. It's one of 182 steps they follow to get your house sold for top dollar.
For your free information package or to schedule a free consultation, call them 541-286-3030 or check them out at harpolehomes.com. Sell your house this summer with Harpole Homes with Keller Williams Realty. 541-286-3030.
Today, you ate Greek yogurt. You took the train. You wondered why people spend so much time reading celebrity blogs. You read a celebrity blog. You planned a workout. You skipped it. You did all the things that one normally does the day before a devastating earthquake shakes the community to the ground. You never know when the day before is the day before. Prepare for tomorrow at ready.gov/today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Join parents and experts at Understood.org, a free online resource about learning and attention issues designed to help you help your child thrive in school and in life. Understood.org, because understanding is everything. Brought to you by Understood.org and the Ad Council.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. It's all about the Federal Reserve for Wall Street as policymakers get set to meet this week. The Fed doesn't begin its policy meeting until tomorrow and doesn't announce its plans for interest rates until Wednesday. Most are betting that the Fed will stand pat on interest rates. Stocks are higher to kick off the week. Customers buying gasoline at grocery stores and other independent retailers may pay more than those shopping at name brand outlets after the biggest gasoline pipeline in the U.S. sprung a leak in Alabama 10 days ago. When supplies are cut off, refiners prioritize deliveries to name brand retailers, according to GasBuddy. Whatever is left over trickles down to unbranded stations. Twitter has been sued by a shareholder over claims it misled investors on key growth measurements almost 2 years after touting plans to top 500 million users. The suit comes as Twitter struggles to keep its audience from defecting to
Fox News, fair and balanced. We report, you decide. On News Radio 1120 KPNW, Eugene, Springfield.
Fox News Radio, I'm Dave Anthony.
Americans will not cower. We will prevail.
Hillary Clinton amid a manhunt for a terror suspect linked to bombings in New York and New Jersey.
We will defend our country, and we will defeat the evil, twisted ideology of the terrorists.
The Democrat calling for an intelligence surge to battle ISIS overseas and counter their propaganda online. She says Donald Trump has no plan other than irresponsible, reckless statements. Trump earlier told Fox.
These were started by Hillary Clinton and her policies and Obama. When they got out of Iraq, this is what happened. This is the remnant of it, and it's much more than a remnant.
The Republican says we need to hit ISIS harder overseas and keep more of these potential terrorists from coming to America, keeping people out. As for the suspect named this morning, he's a naturalized American born in Afghanistan.
The FBI releasing the bulletin this morning for Ahmed Khan Rahami, with law enforcement sources telling Fox News Rahami is believed to be connected to the devices found in the explosions in all three locations: Seaside Park, New Jersey, Chelsea in New York, as well as Elizabeth, New Jersey.
Fox's Catherine Herridge says Rahami is considered armed and dangerous. A new internal audit finds the U.S. government granted citizenship to more than 800 people who had been ordered deported or removed under another identity because their digital fingerprint records were not available at the time. An area of Florida pregnant women were told to avoid, now declared Zika-free. Fox's Evan Brown's live in Miami.
Yeah, Dave, the Miami-Dade neighborhood of Wynwood, with its cool art galleries and gastropubs, is no longer under a Zika advisory.
We've now been 45 days without a local transmission of Zika. And so everybody should be coming back here and enjoy themselves.
Florida Governor Rick Scott. Wynwood was the first area to be marked by health officials. Miami Beach's Zika zone, however, grew to nearly 5 square miles over the weekend, Dave.
Heaven on Wall Street, the Dow is up 88 points. This is Fox News Radio. Fair and balanced.
This tip of the week brought to you by Neurospine Institute.
If you're a smoker, you already know that quitting will save you money and help you live longer. But did you know that it can make your back feel better? Smoking restricts the flow of oxygen and other nutrients in the spinal discs, making you more vulnerable to lower back pain. Smoking also increases the risk of osteoarthritis and other joint disorders that cause chronic pain in other parts of the body and decreases your body's ability to heal itself from illness or injury. Numerous studies return the same consistent results, and the evidence holds true for men and women, regardless of age or occupation. Stop smoking and your back will thank you.
Are you living with chronic pain? The specialists at Neurospine Institute can diagnose the problem and develop a personalized treatment plan to address your symptoms. Their comprehensive services include clinical and surgical procedures, sports medicine, physical therapy, medical imaging, and pain management. Neurospine Institute's medical professionals will work closely with your primary care or referring physician to ensure that you receive the best care and treatment. They serve all of Western Oregon with 2 locations, the main campus in Eugene and their Roseburg clinic. Visit neurospinellc.com today and get your life back.
President Obama is going to deliver a statement in the next half hour or so on the terror situation in New York and New Jersey now that there is a suspect that has been named. Police are looking for a naturalized American born in Afghanistan. The president's holding talks today with China's premier and Iraq's prime minister on the sidelines of the UN General Assembly.
The 71st UN General Assembly will have lots to discuss. Already a U.S.-led airstrike on terrorist forces had to be halted, says America's UN ambassador Samantha Power.
When we were informed by Russia that it was possible that we were striking Syrian regime military personnel.
North Korean nuclear testing, global warming, and the spread of ISIS will also be talked about. But as world leaders, including President Obama, gather in New York, the weekend explosion in Manhattan has security top of mind. New York Mayor Bill de Blasio.
We would normally have an expanded presence for the United Nations General Assembly. You will see an even stronger presence now.
Gernal Scott, Fox News.
Game of Thrones honored as TV's best drama. Veep, the comedy, and it starred Julia Louis-Dreyfus, was named Best Actress for the 5th straight year, emotionally dedicating the award to her father on ABC. He died Friday.
I'm so glad that he liked Veep because his opinion was the one that really mattered. Thank you.
The People vs. O.J. Simpson won 5 awards, from TV to the big screen.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
What?
Sully soaring to the top of the box office a second straight weekend. The film taking in another $22 million. A horror revival opening with less than half that to finish second.
Do you believe in the stories about the Blair Witch?
Blair Witch making $9.7 million. A romantic comedy coming in third its debut weekend.
Which of you is the father?
I am. The sequel, Bridget Jones's Baby, bringing in $8.2 million. Jane Metzler, Fox News.
And the movie Snowden, it debuted in 4th place. I'm Dave Anthony, Fox News Radio.
Hey, good morning. Welcome in. Monday, September 19th with the Wake Up Call, live and local from the Woodmer Brothers Studios here at the Bicoastal Radio Complex. Wake Up Call with a weather forecast of foggy conditions. It's possible that upon your commute, you can hit fog and clearing off and on a couple of times, because looking around our area, like Beltline, pretty foggy. At the eastbound lanes, pretty congested right there. And then you go over to I-5 and things look good. So just be advised. A little foggy morning, foggy start, and then partly cloudy and a high of about 72 expected today. 52 degrees at 1120 KPNW. As far as snafus and actual things to talk about, looks like Highway 38 is resolved. If you're headed down there to the Roseburg area, they've got an animal situation there on Highway 138, 7 miles east of Roseburg. Other than that, things swimming nicely on a Monday. Coming up, our good friend Abby from CMN later in the hour. Before that, in fact, minutes away, news. And that's
it was me gagging on my coffee. Anyway, yes, coming up, we'll have these stories. We'll have the latest on the East Coast bombings. We'll take a look at a nursing shortage here in Oregon and an event that has become, I don't know, kind of a party for Oregonians, and that's the fall beach cleanup. Goes on every year in the fall and also in the spring, and we'll have the details on that. It's this weekend if you want to go out and walk the beach and, maybe do a little cleaning up. You're invited. Those stories and more are coming up, brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones on KPNW.
News time 8:07.
True taco facts from Burrito Amigos. Last year, we as Americans chowed down on 4.5 billion tacos. If you laid those tacos end to end, a favorite American pastime, by the way, they'd stretch 490,000 miles, essentially to the moon and back, which is a favorite American measurement of distance. If you took all the tacos folks ate at Burrito Amigos last year, they'd get your round trip from Eugene to Vancouver, unless the traffic was bad and you had to go 205. Then you would only get back to the Brownsville exit. A lot of those tacos were Burrito Amigos Baja fish tacos with real cod, cabbage, cilantro, and Sandy's Secret Baja sauce. A few miles were also Chili Verde soft tacos with pork cooked in spicy green salsa. And you could probably get to Salem with all the yummy tacos Burrito Amigos fans noshed on. Yams, cabbage, beans, pumpkin seeds, and a spicy avocado sauce. They're delicious whether you're a vegetarian or not. Burrito Amigos tacos, they're not just for measuring anymore. Burrito Amigos in Eugene and Springfield. I'm Bill London, and I like my tacos by the yard.
Why compromise how you want to heat and cool your home? Resolve your heating and cooling issues the way you want by contacting Pacific Air Comfort, your local Carrier factory authorized dealer. Turn to the experts who will listen to your wants and needs for home or business. Their professional staff will listen to you, offering their good, better, and best solutions. Addressing your wants and needs using quality Carrier products, making you Pacific Air comfortable. Pacific Air Comfort. Quality system design, quality Carrier equipment, quality installation, and outstanding 24/7 service and repairs. Visit PacificAirComfort.com. That's PacificAirComfort.com. Or call 541-342-5300. That's 541-342-5300 to receive Pacific Air Comfort's award-winning service today.
This is News Radio 1120 KPNW.
And we've got the local story of the morning wake-up call.
Good morning. This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones featuring great breakfast burritos and fresh brewed, locally roasted coffee for a tasty start to your morning. Here's what's going on. Well, we're seeing more information coming to light after a series of bombs exploded on Saturday. One was in Seaside Park, New Jersey. Another was in New York City's Chelsea neighborhood. The New Jersey explosion taking place inside a garbage can along a route of a charity run. Fortunately, in that case, no one was injured. Unfortunately, later in the day, the New York City bomb went off, injuring 29 people, with authorities finding a pressure cooker bomb that was still unexploded nearby. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo said that investigators are looking at the potential of a connection.
They're not identical, but they are similar, which would suggest that you could have had a common mastermind in the construction of the bombs.
Governor Cuomo finally admitting this morning that there is a foreign connection in the New York City bombing, even though he was giving President Obama coverage earlier during the weekend, saying that there was no foreign connection. The person of interest has been named as 28-year-old Ahmad Khan Rahami. Shortly after Saturday night's explosion in the Chelsea neighborhood of New York, Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump said, "We've got to get very tough." During an interview this morning on Fox and Friends, Trump told co-host Steve Doocy about his plan for defeating terrorists.
We're going to have to do something extremely tough over there. Okay?
Like what?
Over there. Like knock the hell out of them. And we have to get everybody together, and we have to lead for a change, because we're not knocking them. We're hitting them every once in a while. We're hitting them in certain places. We're being very gentle about it. We're going to have to be very tough, and you have other countries over there that are getting devastated far more than we are, and you have to get them together. It's called leadership, and they have to fight. You know, they have to fight the battle. The battle's over there, and we have to fight the battle.
Sunday night, FBI agents stopped a car on a New York City highway and detained 5 passengers who are still being questioned at the FBI office in Manhattan. Also Sunday, a backpack containing 5 bombs was discovered near the train station in the town of Elizabeth, New Jersey, not far from New York City. This morning, the FBI conducted a raid on an apartment in Elizabeth. Facebook posts played a key role in the trial of the Malheur National Wildlife Refuge occupiers on Friday. Brad Ford has more.
The prosecution is using the Facebook post to show planning and intent of the 7 defendants. Oregon Live reports that in one post, Ammon Bundy wrote, "I would never show up to a rally without my arms." After the occupation began, Bundy wrote, "Forgive me, Father, for I will sin." His attorney tried to keep that post out of the trial because he thought it was unfairly prejudicial. The judge allowed it because it helps define Bundy's state of mind. The FBI searched 300,000 pages of defendants' Facebook accounts, searching for terms relevant to the alleged conspiracy. Brad Ford, KPNW.
A 2-vehicle accident left one person dead and another in the hospital Sunday morning. The accident happened around 4:18 a.m. According to the Oregon State Police, a Ford Explorer was traveling southbound on I-5. It took the exit for Highway 42, but the driver, using the off-ramp, drifted and rolled. The Ford rolled onto both lanes of Highway 42, and it was slammed into by a semi, according to the preliminary investigation. According to OSP, the driver of the Ford, 31-year-old Anthony Weber of Roseburg, was pronounced dead at the scene. The driver of the semi, Richard Arceo, was taken to Mercy Medical Center in Roseburg for minor injuries. A new clinic is opening at the University of Oregon, or actually has opened, to increase access to STD screenings. The STD clinic opened a week before the fall semester started. Physicians at the U of O say the university decided to move forward on the clinic because research shows that students between 19 and 24 are more prone to sexually transmitted diseases when compared to other groups. Research shows there's less access to screenings and to physicians and clinicians among that age group. Plus, they're less sure how to go about getting to a medical office Go figure. Less sure about what questions to ask, and they have concerns about confidentiality. The new clinic also reduces the wait times for testing. The screenings initially are meant for students who don't have symptoms. Students can get tested for a number of infections, including chlamydia, gonorrhea, HIV, among others. The clinic will also offer students the option to pay for cash for the procedures to increase the confidentiality. The Oregon Liquor Control Commission wants medical marijuana dispensaries to just transition to selling pot to whoever. Brad Ford says they're creating new rules to ease that process.
The Oregon Liquor Control Commission is allowing medical marijuana stores to sell their existing inventory until next March, as long as they transition to become recreational marijuana stores. The medical marijuana doesn't undergo the same testing and tracking as does the marijuana and other products that will be sold as recreational marijuana. The state has been licensing growers, processors, testing labs, and retailers, so they're ready for the transition that will happen beginning October 1st. Medical marijuana dispensaries will have until March of next year to sell their remaining supplies of marijuana and other products.
Brad Ford, KPNW News.
The state of Oregon has filed lawsuits against people it says were responsible for starting 2 forest fires. The state filed one suit against a man who was accused of napping while his campfire sparked a 200-acre blaze in southern Oregon. In that case, the state is seeking $900,000, covering the costs of putting out the July 2014 fire. The suit names Joe Thurmond Askins, his wife, and his stepdaughter. The state also filed a $3.5 million lawsuit against an eastern Oregon rancher who investigators say negligently drove a utility vehicle across fields of bone-dry grass, igniting what became a 2,700-acre wildfire in Grant County of the same year. According to the second lawsuit, rancher John Haberstad should have known that the exhaust system on his utility vehicle posed a fire hazard. Deputies arrested an Aloha man accused of secretly filming his coworkers in the restroom after he was found to have had thousands of stolen female undergarments and child pornography. An investigation into 37-year-old Leighton Tilford Olson began after deputies were called to a suspicious circumstance in an Aloha community. Deputies obtained a search warrant for Olson's home and contacted child abuse detectives. During the search, detectives say they discovered that Olson had been recording his coworkers in the employee restroom of Little Caesars Pizza in Aloha. Detectives also found recordings of unsuspecting victims in the bathroom of his apartment. He was indicted on 5 counts of invasion of personal privacy, 4 counts of first-degree encouraging child sex abuse, 4 counts of using a child in a display of sexually explicit conduct, 2 counts of second-degree theft, and a count of burglary. His bail set at $1.1 million. Deputies say the investigation is ongoing and they expect more charges. Well, let her buck. The 106th Pendleton Roundup is in the books. More than 700 contestants competed for a share of the $515,000 in total prize money, one of the highest-paying rodeos in the world. Shane Erickson of Terrebonne was named the rodeo's all-around cowboy after winning money in the calf roping and team roping events.
This is probably truly one of the best rodeos you could win because of all the stuff they give you, and they appreciate, you come in, and they do a great job around here. It's just, I went to school here, and so I kind of got the feeling of it before I ever entered, so I knew what it was all about when I was younger, so it's a great feeling.
The week-long celebration also featured the 100th anniversary of the Happy Canyon Indian Pageant and Wild West Show. An increasing number of Oregon school districts are eliminating a nurse. Brad Ford says it's happening at a time when more students need medical help at school.
As school budgets tighten, school nurses are eyed as being expendable.
Oftentimes, the school nurse is one of the first positions cut.
Nina Fakaris, chair of the task force on school nurses, says 79 out of 197 school districts in Oregon don't have a nurse. It's affecting around 30,000 students. Fakaris says without a nurse, students often go home if they have a medical issue.
Studies show that if you have a full-time nurse in your health room, they're much more likely to keep kids at school.
Fakaris says an increasing number of students have medical issues where a nurse is needed to provide care. She says not having a nurse can put a school at greater risk of liability if a student has a medical problem. Brad Ford, KPNW.
People who claim they're fine with very little sleep are fooling themselves, according to new research from the University of Utah. The brain imaging study compared people who are short sleepers, those who sleep less than 6 hours a night versus people who sleep more. The 6 hours or less group was then divided again, this time comparing short sleepers who say they're fine during the day and short sleepers who feel tired during daytime hours. Popular Science says they found that all of the short sleepers, regardless of how they felt during the day, showed brain patterns of micro-napping. The researchers' concern is that when people do mundane tasks like drive a car or lie still when getting brain imaging scans, could lull a sleep-deprived person into a nap without their even realizing it. Well, leukemia is no longer the #1 cause of cancer deaths in children. Now it's brain cancer. According to a new report by the National Center for Health Stats, all pediatric cancer death rates have been dropping since the mid-1970s and details cancer death rates among children and teens from 1999 to 2 years ago. There were still 1,700 cancer deaths in children and adolescents in 2014 alone. Brain cancer and leukemia accounted for more than half of those. In 1999, 6 out of 20 cancer deaths among children was due to childhood leukemia, and about 5 in 20 was due to brain cancer. But by 2014, those numbers had reversed. According to LiveScience.com, the major therapeutic advances in the treatment of cancers, particularly leukemia, has likely resulted in the increases in survivorship. Overall, the cancer death rate for children and teens dropped 20% over 15 years. Among females, the overall cancer death dropped 22%. Among males, 18%. Well, you can almost call it an Oregon tradition. Thousands of volunteers are going to be walking the Oregon coast next Saturday, not looking to catch some rays or just look at the ocean. It's the annual fall Solve Beach and River Cleanup. Brad Ford has the final story.
The project to remove litter and debris from the beaches is in its 33rd year.
It's become this family-friendly event. It's become quite an Oregon tradition.
Solve's Joy Hawkins says back in 1984, the cleanup was confined to Oregon's 363-mile coastline, but it's grown in the years since to include rivers, neighborhoods, and parks.
A lot of the trash that ends up on our beaches and in our waterways comes from city streets and neighborhoods. It's really important to clean up all over the state.
Last year, volunteers collected more than 550,000 pounds of litter. Solve provides tools for the cleanup. There are over 110 project sites across the state, including 46 on the coast. Choose a site and sign up at solveoregon.org. I'm Brad Ford, KPNW.
This look at the news brought to you by Burrito Amigos, the friendly ones. You're up to date from KPNW.
Wake Up Call Sports on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
So the first 2 weeks of the NFL season are any indication the season is going to be a wild ride. The Rams, back in L.A. after 22 years, beat the Seattle Seahawks. Despite only scoring 9 points, Seahawks were limited to a field goal. 91,046 in attendance at the Memorial Coliseum. Just waiting for some NFL. Former Duck Marcus Mariota completed all 9 of his passes in a comeback attempt. On a 4th down, Marcus lofted a 9-yard pass to Andre Johnson for a touchdown. With just over a minute left, Titans win 16-15 over the Lions. In Charlotte, Cam Newton overcame an opening interception to throw for 353 yards, 4 touchdowns. Carolina Panthers foil the 49ers 46-27. Good on you if you've got Cam in fantasy. I do. Last night it was Sam Bradford and not Aaron Rodgers who was smiling at the end of the game 15 days ago. The Vikings signed Bradford and he ran the offense like he's been with the team for 15 years. Minnesota beats Green Bay at home 17-14. Oregon's, to no one's surprise, falling out of the top 25 after the loss to Nebraska on Saturday. Huskers are in the top 25 for the first time under Coach Mike Riley at number 20. So we're taking care of our own. Yes, we lost, but at least Riley's in the top 20. Congrats to OSU. By the way, they defeated Idaho State at Reeser over the weekend, snapped a 10-game losing streak, the Beavers did. Friday preps, Eagle Point hung 52 points on the scoreboard against Springfield. 52-zip the final. Thurston wins 48-42 over North Eugene. It was in Pleasant Hill 48, Waldport 0, and Yoncalla wins by 10 over Mohawk 62-52. 6A girls soccer, South Eugene shut out Roseburg 1-0. Wake Up Call Sports on KPNW, brought to you by Max Muscle, where you're always able to try before you buy. Max Muscle on Franklin, across from Market of Choice. News time, 8:23.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now are coming into the upper 40s to low 50s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. Now, this fog will be gone by about 9 or 10 in the morning. But we're not seeing any high pressure moving in behind the storm system from the weekend. That means an unstable environment. Partly cloudy skies will continue this afternoon. Highs only climbing to the upper 60s to low 70s as winds will stay out of the northwest at 5 to 10, bringing in cooler air. We're already tracking another storm system for next weekend, as well as a small chance at rain each and every day this week. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
When you need foundation repairs, turn to the foundation experts at Ramjack West. Get your free in-home evaluation at ramjackwest.com. Serving Oregon and Washington. Choose Ramjack. CCB 146906.
You've heard me talk about glutamine and how important it is for your body. It repairs every cell in the human body, giving you overall optimal health. It's odorless, tasteless, and flavorless. Stop by, give it a try. You won't taste a thing. Max Muscle, Franklin Boulevard in Eugene.
It's time to gear up for fall at John Deere with a new compact utility tractor. Get 0% financing for 60 months, big implement bonuses, and our free 6-year powertrain warranty on versatile, easy-to-use John Deere compact tractors. It's time to gear up today and save. Offer ends October 28, 2016, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Terms, conditions, exclusions, and warranty limitations apply. See dealer for details.
Visit any of Pape Machinery's 21 locations for great deals on John Deere equipment. Or online at papemachinery.com. That's PAPE machinery.com and myjohndeeredealer.com.
Any Joe Schmo knows Geico will work to save you money on car insurance. But since money talks, why not just ask the savings?
That's me, Joe Savings. I'm not literally $1 million, but I feel like it. Why? Because when Joe switched his car insurance at geico.com, his monthly rate went down and the savings went up. Now he uses the handy Geico mobile app anytime to check out his policy perks. Talk about a win-win. And 2 thumbs up. Man, I wish I had thumbs.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Jim Olson with Olson's Auto Glass.
I'm the 3rd generation to run the business. Started in 1938 by my grandfather, Em Olson. What defines us, separates us, is I think the quality of our work. We strive for excellence in every car we do. We try to use the best quality products available. Cars, trucks, SUVs, all that sort of thing. We can do the glass in all of them. That's our main focus, is auto glass and safety of the vehicle. Our website is olsonsautoglass.com. Our address is 2041 West 7th Avenue. Phone number is 541-342-7773.
I loved playing high school sports. I loved the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, all the pageantry, and I wanted to keep playing. But I graduated. No colleges called, and neither did the pros. So, to stay close to the game I loved, I decided to become a high school official. You know, a referee. When I played high school sports, I learned the importance of integrity, good sportsmanship, and respect for the rules. Now, as a high school official, I get to help model these same values to others. Maybe the colleges and the pros didn't call, but the kids in Oregon did. And now, I'm enjoying the competition, the camaraderie, the bands, the crowds, and all the pageantry of high school sports all over again.
This message presented by the Oregon School Activities Association and the Oregon Athletic Directors Association.
Thinking about that Tempur-Pedic. The Tempur-Pedic that my dogs are enjoying right now. It's the most expensive dog bed in the world. Tempur-Pedic, Serta. You might fall in love with it totally, completely. You probably maybe haven't even heard us talk about the bed that you fall in love with when you go to sleep train. And the great thing about it is there's so low pressure. They want you to be happy. They want you to realize, okay, today this mattress felt good, but I'm going to come back and maybe somebody else, another mattress will go. There's no pressure. And that's one thing that I totally, completely appreciate. To the point where even after you buy, they're taking the pressure out with the guarantees. 2.5 months into it, you're not feeling it, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. They do all the work. They're going to make good, so they're going to take it in and take it out. And the mattress that you're sleeping on right now, they'll even take that out too, to begin with, to begin the whole thing. So there's so little stress and so much sleep in your near future. Good hours of slumber.
So head on in. You know where they're located, all over the place. Corvallis, Albany, Eugene, and Springfield. And by the way, when you go in, make sure you ask for the complimentary mint. And say the Wake Up Call sent you. If you would. Please.
Wayne County.
Basically, what we're doing is using our land use law. As you're running again, pay attention to all of your voters.
And the nation.
Holloway in London. The Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
I'm always late with you guys, so I figured I'd be early today.
What's that?
Oh, I figured I'd be early today.
Oh, okay.
Nice.
828, that's the voice of Abby. Didn't even wait for an introduction.
I know, sorry.
She
ready
just
to go.
barges right in.
It's like a second home here, guys. Come on.
You feel comfortable.
I do.
That's fine.
I'm just chit-chatting with my guys.
That's fine.
Oh, thanks.
You're
Children's
welcome.
Miracle Network is
You're
where
always
you've heard her
welcome
before. You just got back from Salt Lake City.
Yeah, we just had our national conference. So it's we call them our fall business meetings. So it's where all 170 hospitals, we all come together and we kind of share best practices, hear what's going on at other hospitals. It's working, not working. We have one of our biggest campaigns going right now for Walmart. So we did a lot of, planning what's going on with everybody else, what's working, what's not working, things like that. And it's a good time.
Do you actually get good stuff out of these?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, I was just telling you about a really compelling story that I heard. And that was one of the things that we talked about this week was how to really share those hospital stories about our miracle families and get them out in the public so people really know what it is that we're doing locally in their community. So that was
the story that you told, and unfortunately I got into the middle of it, was about a young girl who was a burn victim, and
it was a mom. She had 4 kids. Yeah, it was a mom. And she was in the height of her career, had just started this blog. Like Martha Stewart had just given her a shout out. Her and her husband were leaving that morning to go on a trip, and as soon as their plane left the runway, they went down in a fiery ball of flames and landed in a neighborhood in somebody's front yard. She had to crawl out of the plane. Her body was covered 88% in 4th and 5th degree burns. I didn't even know there was such a thing as 5th degree burns, honestly.
Is that like a burn to the bone?
Yeah, her finger bones were all sticking out. Yeah, all kinds of stuff. So talking about her story, I mean, we were all crying. Like when you're in a room of 700 people and every single person you're looking at is crying, like it's an amazing story of comeback and perseverance. And talking about how her husband, they kept prepping because her husband was covered in 44%, I think is what they said, 44 or 46% of his body was covered in burns as well. And so they were both in the hospital at the same time recovering. And they have 4 little tiny kids at home that aunts and uncles had to step in to take care of. And they were prepping both of them, saying, hey, listen, people their marriages don't survive after this, and don't be hard on yourselves if you guys can't overcome this. Like, this is a very common thing. And
setting them up for a separation.
Yeah.
Wow.
And they are still together. He's like, I love my wife. I know more than skin deep. My love for my wife is more than skin deep, and I will always love this woman and what she overcame and what she did. And I mean, I was telling you guys about how they had to harvest her skin and send it off to Mayo Clinic so that they could grow new skin for her for all the skin grafts that she needed. I mean, she was in the hospital for a year. So.
And how long ago was that?
8 years ago. 8 years ago.
And so now they're still together.
Yeah, they're still together. They had another baby.
What?
Yep. And she does speaking engagement. She wrote a book. She still has her blog going. And yeah, it's pretty amazing. So she was awesome. It was a really inspiring story and kind of brings us all back to why we do what we do. So
good for them.
Children's Miracle Network. I mean, I think some people, because we always kind of focus on the babies. We talk about the babies. But really, it goes...
birth all the way till 18 to 22. I mean, it's really however we're going to help our youngest patients. And I say 22 because I've witnessed us helping kids over the age of 18. I mean, it's a lot of our pediatric units are special because we equip them with things to make them special and different than any other unit in the hospital, and to make patients feel as comfortable as possible when they're going through something really hard. And the thing within peds is that we're not just helping the patient, we're helping the entire family, because everybody's a part of this process. And we've seen it time and time again. You guys have seen it. It's not just the patients that we're helping their brothers and sisters and parents and everything else, because everybody's affected by it.
Do you think and this is not a criticism, do you think we do a disservice sometimes because we focus a lot on the NICU, the neonatal intensive care unit?
Absolutely not.
When maybe we need to focus more on the other things that happen in pediatrics. I mean, whether it be burns or childhood leukemia, or I mean, all the different things that the kids come in there for on a regular basis. I mean,
I don't think we're doing a disservice. No,
well,
I mean,
I don't mean that to be
babies
critical.
are cute, right? Babies are cute,
Yeah.
and a lot of people
You think?
Yeah,
You
I
think
do.
babies are cute?
I do think babies are cute, but I think it's also that's what people most know us for, and that's a great thing. That's a beautiful thing, and I think a lot of it comes from our Kids Helping Kids program.
Yeah.
Because we have the students coming into the hospital, and I think more and more now they're seeing that they're the actual patients that we're helping as well, and we really try to drive that home with them too. But I mean, that's the first thing that they know, is that they know what the NICU is, and I'm always shocked by that, because not everybody's going to know that what a neonatal intensive care unit is. You know what I mean? But they know what that is, and that's inspiring to me, that we're doing a good enough job that they at least know that. You know what I mean? And then we take it kind of from there. And I think we're doing a better job at getting it out there, that we're helping kids of all ages more and more. For sure.
You deal with a lot of these families, and,
Totally.
and you get absorbed and are part of their stories. You
Yes.
become part of their family.
Yeah, it's hard not to.
How do you? I mean, how do you resist? How do you kind of inflate and say either decompress or recharge after one story after the other?
Honestly, I call my friends and I tell them to go out on dates, and I go home and I babysit their kids for them, so that I can be around kids that are
Not
sick and have some snuggles and kisses and good times. And I have really good friends that are my support system, and I can tell them. But more than anything, I just feel lucky that these families are letting me into their life as part of their family, and getting to be a part of their successes and milestones and things that, they didn't have before, and that it's my motivation for why I work so hard. You know what I mean? It's what we do. So, I don't know.
It's the passion.
It is. It totally is. It totally is.
You got some cool things coming up. Something this weekend too.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
can talk about.
So this weekend, two things actually. So the first one is we're having our first ever race for the Ace, which is really going to be fun. It's our CMN 5K poker run. So it's this Sunday, the 25th at Alton Baker Park. You can register online at racefortheace.com.
See, I thought you were going to have to go out and shoot down airplanes.
No. And it's a poker run. It's fun. So at every kilometer, you get a card handed to you, and at the end of the 5K, you're going to have your poker hand, and then you get entered in to win all these fabulous prizes. And then so the two event sponsors that are putting it on are Advanced Cabinets and then Ramjack. And then our other primary sponsor is Tracktown Pizza. So they're providing pizza for all the participants on top of it all.
Tracktown helps
in so many ways.
Because at the event that we had at MKA,
Yeah.
they had about 1,000 pizzas.
Yep, exactly. So huge helps with everything. And everybody's going to get a fun swag bag, and there's t-shirts, and you get decks of cards that have the race on it. Kids are welcome. It's a race or a walk. Run or a walk. So it'll be really fun. And we have tons of prizes. I haven't even told you guys about the prizes. So you get a night stay at the Marriott. We have Hydro Flask pint glasses, Hole in the Wall gift cards, Falling Sky gift cards, Sweet Life gift cards, Oakshire gift packages, Dutch Brothers swag, Cornbread Cafe, jump passes at Get Air, Tracktown Pizza gift cards. So everybody can be a winner at this thing, as far as I'm concerned.
The Hydro Flask.
I know that in of
I
itself.
just found out that about 2 weeks ago.
What, have you been living under a rock?
I think so.
I think so too.
Yeah. What have I been drinking out of?
I don't know. Don't you like cold beverages to stay cold?
Cold or hot.
I know.
They're amazing.
They
and they're
are
out of
amazing.
Oregon too.
I know.
You would think that
living in Eugene with everybody in their recyclable stuff and everything else,
Well, okay,
reusable water bottles.
Who uses thermoses now when you have a Hydro Flask?
They're
who
out
wants
of
to
Bend.
drink out of a thermos?
Yeah, and they're a local company.
But they're made in China.
Well, because yes, we will get into that later. But yes,
different.
They are
different
made in
things.
China.
They are now. Yes.
Oh.
Anywho,
Nice to know the local company is hiring local folks in China.
We're getting derailed.
It's still a good bottle.
Yeah,
but then there's
we're
a
over there
second thing.
Finding our subsistence
Wait.
Okay, so back to the 5K.
Wait. How do you get registered?
So you go to racefortheace.com and you can register online, or you can register at the day of, starting at 9 a.m. on Sunday. You can go out and register right at the race. And it's going to be a beautiful weekend. So no rain, no clouds. It's supposed to be the perfect weather, like 75 degrees. So not too hot, not too cold. Good cause, $25. Yeah, it's out in Baker Park, close right to the center of downtown. So
what else could you ask for?
I mean, you can't. And
Hydro
and we're in a runner town, and we're giving you a good cause and some fun swag
And
to win.
food there.
And food. And a way to win cool prizes.
Running for kids.
Yep, running for kids. So bring the family. Definitely need to bring Sid out. This will be good.
Sunday. Okay.
Sunday.
Item number 2.
Item number 2. So we have our golf tournament every year. We just got done having it. It was back in August, a couple weeks ago, long time ago. Yeah, no kidding. So we always have a sponsor through Lexus Champions for Charity. And so they gave us a Pebble Beach package to auction off. So we are allowing people to place their bids over the phone. They just need to call our office at 541-656-6456. And you can call until September 30th to put your bids in. And the Pebble Beach package is a 3-day, 54-hole event, 18 holes a day, 2-person, December 7th through the 11th.
Does that include like airfare? And
no. Good question.
lodging?
No, it does not. But it gives you the Pebble Beach package, which is pretty amazing. So for all the golfers out there, this is your package to bid on.
I love Pebble Beach.
I know. So it should be a good time.
Great place. Hey,
Yeah.
and if you end up winning it, I can give you some recommendations of some cool places too.
Exactly. And all the funds, again, 100% go back to Children's Miracle Network.
That's
so
cool. What's the deadline?
till September 30th. So
Okay.
till the end of this month. Yep. And people can play their bids and place their bids. And we'll tell you what the lowest bid is or the top bid that is when you call in. So if you want to bid higher, obviously, we'll tell you.
Just in our region?
Just in our region.
Okay.
Yeah. So not bad.
That is not bad.
So running or golfing, whichever activity you like, there's something for you.
We got you covered.
Exactly. So should be a fun time.
And I guess we have a ways to go, but I'm already getting geeked about Radiothon.
I know, right? March. It's only a few months off.
I know.
It's kind of crazy to think about. It's 2 days. I don't think we came up with the for sure dates. I think it's like we're going to try to do towards the second week of March again this year.
Okay.
So as soon as we know the for sure dates, I'll come back in and start publicizing that stuff.
Anything around the holidays that you guys are doing?
No, surprisingly, knock on wood, December is kind of our slower month, which I appreciate. It kind of gives us a month of like nothing.
Break.
Our next big event that's coming up is our Lunch at Tiffany's event. So that's October 27th at Valley River Center. So the ladies only luncheon. So we usually have about 400 women come. It's a live auction and a silent auction. Good time, lunch, wine, all of the above. During the middle of the day while the kids are all at school, good time.
Mom can go out and get liquored up.
Yep, exactly. And it's mom
Kidding.
juice. It's mom juice.
Kidding.
Anyways, no. And we get to premiere our new CMN video, which is going to be awesome. I'm super excited and proud to show everybody that this year. We've been working on it really hard.
A local thing.
A local thing. We've been working on it since January. So we just filmed our last thing to film back at the end of August. So I'm really excited to show everybody because it's really going to show the whole pediatric picture of what it's like to be a parent with a kid in our hospital and all the things that we have and what it's like emotionally and hearing from our doctors. And yeah, it's going to be good.
Who's putting that together?
Attic Media, our boys at Attic Media, whom we love. So they do a really good job.
I can't wait to see that.
I know, right? I'm excited to show you guys. So,
all right, what else? What do we miss?
I don't know. Walmart. We've got the run this Sunday. We've got the Pebble Beach package. We've got lunch at Tiffany's. I think that covers it all for right now. Oh, Kids Helping Kids starts. Everybody's back in school. So support your local high school kiddos that are participating in their local programs and know that they're all helping us out. And we're excited about that tour season.
Yay.
Let the games begin.
Tell Alexa hi.
I will. You'll get to see her this week.
Abby from CMN coming in with the Wake Up Call. Thanks so much.
Thank
842 News Radio 1120 KPNW.
The Bloomberg Market Report, sponsored by Pacific Continental Bank, serving your business and community in Eugene for over 40 years.
This is a Bloomberg Market Minute. Stocks are rising this Monday. Gains in crude prices and speculation that mixed economic data will prompt the Federal Reserve to hold interest rates steady this week. A report on August housing starts tomorrow is the last bit of significant data to offer an indication on the strength of growth before the Fed announces a rate decision on Wednesday. Lionsgate Entertainment dropping and trading following the disappointing weekend box office debut of Blair Witch. The new take on the Blair Witch Project generated $9.7 million, less than half of the $20.5 million anticipated by analysts at boxofficepro.com. Samsung's exploding smartphone battery crisis began with a rush to beat the iPhone. According to people familiar with the matter, Samsung sped up the launch of the Galaxy Note 7 after hearing that the next iPhone wouldn't have any major innovations. And Carnival is backing 3 new TV shows about travel. They'll air on Saturday mornings on ABC, NBC, and CW networks beginning next month. The goal is to change perceptions about cruising. Courtney Donahoe, Bloomberg.
Bill and Tim's is barbecue and a whole lot more.
Bill, barbecue is the very air we breathe.
I know, Tim, but it isn't for everyone all the time. That's why Bill and Tim's expanded menu is a big hit.
True, we don't look like a men's club in here anymore.
Golden mac and cheese balls, Mexican specialty dishes, gourmet salads. What new dish will you be trying today, Tim?
I'm ready to branch out.
Great.
Give me the barbecue bacon cheeseburger.
Tim. Bill and Tim's Barbecue.
Open at 11 daily.
13th and Pearl in Eugene.
Even with the greatest real estate we've seen in a decade, do you realize that 20% of homes go pending and then fall out, which ends up netting you, the seller, less money? The reason? You hired the wrong real estate agent. If you want a great price and have a great experience, hire Harpole Homes with Keller Williams Realty.
Fact, not all agents are created equal. When you sell your house with Eric and Jeanette's team, you get thousands more dollars in your pocket. With the extra money the Harpoles net you, you can take a vacation, pay off debt, or put more down on your next home.
How did the Harpole Homes do it? Negotiating, marketing, and their exclusive certified pre-owned home program. When you hire Harpole Homes to sell your house, they pay for your home inspection up front to take care of the issues to ensure your home stays sold. It's one of 182 steps they follow to get your house sold for top dollar.
For your free information package or to schedule a free consultation, call them 541-286-3030 or check them out at harpolehomes.com. Sell your house this summer with Harpole Homes with Keller Williams Realty. 541-286-3030.
Hunting season is starting up, and Oak Grove Guns has what you need to make your hunt successful with a wide selection of shotguns, scopes, laser sights, and ammo. And if you need protection, now's the time to swing by and see Dave and Nick. They have an overstock of used handguns, all in good condition, and now every used handgun is being discounted by $25. Oak Grove Guns is the local family-owned gun and protection shop that can help you find the product that suits your needs. Oak Grove Guns, proud to supply products to responsible gun owners.
The following is an incredible, life-changing free offer for anyone with hearing problems who wants to start hearing everything more clearly again. We're now offering free in-home trials of a revolutionary hearing breakthrough called Listen Clear to anyone who calls this special toll-free number now. 1-800-300-5440. Call in the next 10 minutes and you'll also qualify for free shipping and free batteries for life. Listen Clear is precisely designed by top audio engineers. It adjusts to let you find the perfect way to hear everything, wherever you are and whatever you're doing. And Listen Clear is so invisible, people may not even know you're wearing it. And it's so lightweight, you may even forget you're wearing it too. Don't miss this special life-changing opportunity to hear everything more clearly again for free with a 100% free in-home trial, free shipping, and even free batteries for life. For free information, call now. 1-800-300-5440. That's 1-800-300-5440. 1-800-300-5440.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, you're already out and about. We do have partly cloudy skies. Temps right now in the upper 40s to low 50s with winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. I expect the fog to burn off by about 10 a.m. Now, the storm system from the weekend has begun to pull away, but we're still seeing low pressure over the Pacific Northwest, as well as an unstable environment. That means partly cloudy skies will continue into the afternoon with highs only in the upper 60s to low 70s, 72 here in town. The winds will stay northwest at 5 to 10. I'm Chief Meteorologist Chris Nation, NBC 16 Weather Center, hoping you have a fantastic day.
Separating news from noise. It's the Wake Up Call on News Radio 1120 KPNW.
We have a couple of things to pass along to you this morning. Avoid 24th Avenue between Potter and Kincaid in downtown Eugene. Apparently, we've got a gas leak there, and there's construction going on. I wonder what caused the gas leak. Anyway, again, that is 24th Avenue between Potter and Kincaid this morning. And then we also are finding out now that Ahmad Khan Rahami was taken into custody this morning. He's the man believed to be responsible for the explosion in Manhattan in the Chelsea neighborhood on Saturday night. He was taken into custody after being shot by police. There's really not a whole lot we know about him other than he was been described as a naturalized citizen of Afghan descent who'd been living with his family in Elizabeth, New Jersey. But apparently he was trying to flee, according to witnesses, and was shot by police officers there. They don't know whether there were any other accomplices that might also be involved in this, and we may know later. However, just a few hours before Rahami's name was released, police discovered 5 pipe bombs near a train in Elizabeth, and they did detonate one of them overnight as they tried to disarm it. So I'm sure we'll be hearing a lot more about this particular story as the day progresses, and whether there were other people that they are looking for at this point or not.
Thank God no lives lost at this point.
Oh, man. 29 people injured, that no one died is, you're right, a miracle. So it's...
And kudos to the crew over there. Yeah, you know, it was more than a couple of people working tirelessly to get him, and looks like they did good work quick. All right, partly sunny today. Foggy conditions still looming around Eugene, Springfield. I-5, it looks like you kind of go in and out if you're going to be taking a lengthy commute. Just get ready for it because it has not burned off yet. High of 72. Coming up tonight, might see a little bit of fog here and there, but for sure cloudy, and 48 for the overnight low. Pretty much, I mean, looking at the extended forecast, 70s pretty much all week long. Looking at 69 on Friday, 72 on Saturday, and 80 degrees. I mean, when she talks about Abby talking about great weather for the run for CMN, I think that morning could be quite pleasant. Quite pleasant. Hey, thanks to everybody that came out yesterday. The event there at Kendall Ford, we had some folks coming by. Each test drive, and it was so low pro. They had salespeople there on location, but they weren't in the car with you as you took a test drive. $20 of each test drive going to the Boys and Girls Club. And so that was pretty cool to see some people come out, even though it was a little bit of rain, a little bit of mist, and your NFL day. They had the NFL ticket on. Bacon Nation was out there. Oregon National Guard. Pretty cool event. So hats off to Kendall and you if you came by and helped out the Boys and Girls Club of Emerald Valley. Last night, the Emmys took place. 38th Emmy last night for Game of Thrones. Makes it the most honored primetime show in history. Seems like they're just piling up the awards. And then, and I've heard a couple of people, and if you look online, you think, maybe not a loved show, but loved by critics. Veep seems like it's kind of like the write-in. Veep is kind of, apparently the show that doesn't really generate a lot of talk. I mean, nothing close to Seinfeld or anything of that nature. Big Bang, you hear people talk more about that than you do Veep, but pretty emotional outpouring from Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who just lost her dad. So understandable that she would be up there and be as emotional as she was. But Saturday Night Live
was actually funny this weekend.
Saturday Night Live, the most of any show with 49. So how is that?
They actually won an Emmy?
Kate McKinnon apparently won one.
Oh, as a guest host?
The previous record holder was 37. Oh, prime time. Okay. I was trying to figure out. Okay. So Saturday Night Live has the most evading show of all time, 49.
Yeah, because they're not ready for prime time.
Right. I'll catch up.
That's okay.
Anyway.
Don't worry about it.
Hey, we got to run. We'll go get to work on tomorrow's 3-hour extravaganza.
And notice he's selling it as an extravaganza.
Yeah.
So that's good.
We got dogs coming in.
We got puppies. That's right.
We just need to find a way of getting babies in.
Babies and puppies together are awesome.
Can you imagine? It would be a ratings juggernaut.
Mm-hmm.
Enjoy your Monday, and thank you so much for being a part of our morning wake-up call out.
You can. You can do a lot of things. You can build your business. You can memorize a customer's name in the blink of an eye. You can calculate profit margin and balance the books. You can pull off a hard hat. You can wear a genuine smile, even during a long, hard day. You can even remember the delivery guy's birthday. You can grow your business simply because you believe you can.
Now may be the perfect time to grow, and U.S. Bank is here to help. Get financing for the equipment you need to grow your business with competitive rates, simplified paperwork, and quick decision-making with the U.S. Bank Business Quick Loan. Plus, you may be eligible for a Section 179 tax credit of up to $500,000. U.S. Bank, the power of possible. Maximum quick loan amount is $250,000. Credit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association and are subject to normal credit approval and program guidelines. See a banker for details. U.S. Bank is not offering legal, tax, or financial advice. You should consult with your tax advisor for the specific impact of the Section 179 deduction and how it may apply to your business. Equal housing lender. Deposit products offered by U.S. Bank National Association. Member FDIC.
It's time to gear up for fall at John Deere with a new compact utility tractor. Get 0% financing for 60 months, big implement bonuses, and our free 6-year powertrain warranty on versatile, easy-to-use John Deere compact tractors. It's time to gear up today and save. Offer ends October 28, 2016, subject to approved installment credit with John Deere Financial. Terms, conditions, exclusions, and warranty limitations apply. See dealer for details.
Visit any of Pape Machinery's 21 locations for great deals on John Deere equipment. Or online at papemachinery.com. That's PAPE machinery.com and myjohndeeredealer.com.
Any Joe Schmo knows Geico will work to save you money on car insurance. But since money talks, why not just ask the savings?
That's me, Joe's Savings. I'm not literally $1 million, but I feel like it. Why? Because when Joe switched his car insurance at Geico.com, his monthly rate went down and the savings went up. Now he uses the handy Geico mobile app anytime to check out his policy perks. Talk about a win-win. And 2 thumbs up. Man, I wish I had thumbs.
Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
Laughter rolls in Radio Redux's Radio Days Comedy Capers coming to the Holt Center on September 23rd and 25th. Laugh along to 2 Mirthfield classics, James Thurber's Walter Mitty and Damon Runyon's Butch Minds the Baby. Radio Redux will recreate these comedies the old-fashioned way, live on the Holt Center stage with sound effects and music on September 23rd and 25th. Tickets at the Holt Center box office. Enjoy old-timey radio in a new-timey way, for Radio Redux is radio worth watching.
This is a heavy dose of hard-hitting wake-up call. This is the wake-up call.
For one thing, thank you so much.
Holloway in London and the wake-up call.
Yeah, I love what you do.
On News Radio 1120, KPNW.
Hi, this is Brian Sutherland, owner of Amco Transmissions in Springfield. For years, Amco in Springfield has been repairing your cars and trucks' most complicated system, the transmission. So it's no wonder people come to us with all sorts of problems. Don't take any chances. Bring your car to Amco in Springfield. We'll diagnose it right, repair it for a fair price, and back it with a nationwide warranty. Whether it's your car, truck, or motorhome, call Amco Springfield, 541-726-6824, or find us on Facebook. That's AAMCO.
This is you over 30 years ago.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
And this is your mom now.
Are we there yet? Are we there yet?
Roles change without us noticing. That's why AARP gives you the information to provide even better care for your loved one. Visit aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Last year, over 15,000 children in Lane County spent at least one night in foster care. CASA of Lane County provides a powerful voice for these children by training community members to advocate on their behalf in court. These court-appointed special advocates serve as the eyes and ears of the judge to facilitate the child's movement through the foster care system into safe and permanent homes as quickly as possible. If you are interested in becoming a CASA, please call 541-984-3132 or visit casa-lane.org.
KPNW weather brought to you by Ramjack West. Do you have foundation problems? Ramjack can fix that. Get your free quote at ramjackwest.com.
Good morning to you and yours. If you're headed out that door in the next few minutes, we've got partly cloudy skies. Temps right now are coming into the upper 40s to low 50s with light winds out of the northwest at 5 to 10. And I am tracking some patchy dense fog off and on out there. Now, this fog will be gone by about 9 or 10 in the morning, but we're not seeing any high pressure moving in behind the storm system from the weekend. That means an unstable environment. Partly cloudy skies will continue this afternoon. Highs only climbing to the upper 60s to low 70s as winds will